Welcome to ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Jimmy John's. Beautiful night in North Carolina on the campus of Wake Forest University for an ACC matchup. Louisville on the road to take on the Deamon Deacons. Moments ago, the safety for Wake, Ryan Janvion, getting his team ready to play.
Let's go, man. Hey, this is what we dream of a little kid, man. National TV, Friday night, man. Reinvent yourself. Get this program back on track, man. Geek up real quick. All day light, all night light, and it go like all that night.
Well, you heard from Ryan, and they are trying to get the program at Wake Forest back on track. 1-4 in conference play, 3-5 overall. Louisville trying to get started again after a difficult beginning to the year. Chance to get to 500 with a win here tonight. Hi, everybody. Dave Fleming alongside Coach Mac Brown. Allison Williams is with us as well. And for Wake, look, it is a rebuilding year again for the Deamon Deacons, but a lot of excitement. We're here, national television, big audience, Friday night football. For Louisville, slightly different goal after the 0-3 start. They feel like they've gotten things back on track.
Yes, Lamar Jackson's a tremendous player. He's a young guy, a freshman that was there in the spring, but he's big, he's tall, he's fast, he can run, and he made plays against Florida State that normally you do not see being made against athletes like they have on defense, and he did it with his feet and through the air. He's only completing 55%, 6 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, but he is the guy that Wake Forest has to line up and contain tonight to have a chance to win this game, Dave.
So the young quarterback early in the year, you see some of those athletics gifts. He's got tremendous talent. The young quarterback struggling early in the year, part of the 0-3 start, but they've turned the team over to the true freshman. The passing numbers still modest. The rushing numbers very impressive. Louisville will be kicking off, and so the Cardinals are going to play defense first. Wake Forest back to receive as we get started here from Winston-Salem on the Friday night before Halloween. And the kickoff is deep into the end zone, and it'll be a touchback. The Deamon Deacons get the ball first. For more on Wake Forest, let's welcome in Allison Williams.
Hey guys, John Wolford will be the quarterback to start this game for Wake Forest. He's more of a traditional pocket passer. He knows his offense well and is their most accurate thrower, but his mobility is limited. He's dealing with a high ankle sprain. So if they are unable to protect him, head coach Dave Clawson will be forced to make a change at quarterback. Depending on how often Louisville gets him, they will go to Kendall Hinton. He's their more mobile quarterback and more of a threat running the ball. So when things break down, he is the better option at quarterback. Something to keep an eye on early, guys. If they are able to get after Wolford, it could be a short night for him.
Well, and it is an interesting scenario where the coach goes into a game already sort of planning on having to use the backup. John Wolford, he's just a sophomore from Jacksonville, Florida, played last year as a true freshman, and a kid they really love the leadership ability and the talents when he is healthy. But the offensive line has had problems, and so Wolford, without that escapability, has had a hard time getting his season going. First play from scrimmage for the Deamon Deacons, and they'll take a shot down the field. The ball overthrown, intended for Cortez Lewis, incomplete.
Well, one of the concerns they've got, they want an early start because they didn't do well last week, down 28-0 before you could bat an eye against NC State. But the first time they tried to protect with the 2 red-shirted freshman tackles, they did well.
Yeah, and that is the big concern for Wake. Can they hold up front against a very tough front part of this Louisville defense? It's 2nd and 10. Wolford in the shotgun, all alone. That quick hitter bounces. Incomplete, and it's sort of a theme of our impact players, Coach, when Wake has the ball.
Well, Wake's got to be able to protect. They gave up 8 sacks against this team last year, so 75 left tackle Justin Huron and 74 right tackle Philip Haynes have to be able to protect against number 98 right defensive end Sheldon Rankins, who is one of the best pass rushers in the country.
Yeah, Louisville wreaked havoc on Boston College last week. They're going to try to do the same, and a pass rushing kind of down here. 3rd and 10. Just underway in Winston-Salem. Wolford, and that one knocked down. Very dangerous pass. Incomplete. Wake Forest will punt the ball away.
And you can see very cautious play call on 3rd down and 10. And you're looking at Louisville pressing and trying to reroute the receiver. So they're all over them. They're at the line of scrimmage. They're pushing them. The big safety, Josh Harvey Clemens from Georgia, the transfer, nearly intercepted the ball for a touchdown on the 3rd play of the game.
Yeah, you call that a safe play call, and in theory it is. That didn't end up being all that safe of a pass. Alex Kinnell, who is a very accomplished punter, on the field for the first time. They use him as a weapon. Cornelius Sturgill, freshman return man, and that punt kind of end over end will bounce around the 30-yard line. That's where the Deamon Deacons will down the ball, and the true freshman quarterback Lamar Jackson leads Louisville's offense on the field for the first time. .6'3", 196 pounds, from Boynton Beach, Florida, the Miami area. And I don't think anybody expected him to come in and be the guy this early, but he has just been so impressive with those athletic skills. A truly dynamic runner who's got a big, strong arm, just not yet totally refined as a passer. They will hand the ball off on first down and get a nice positive gain. That's Reggie Bonifant, who you might recognize the name. He started the year as their quarterback. He's one of your impact players, Mac, because they're going to use him in a lot of different ways.
Yes, and Reggie is really the backup quarterback with some packages now, but they'll get the ball to him like 20 different times tonight. But Wake's got to get them in long yardage situations so Duke Ejiofor can come off the corner and be a great pass rusher.
And now a mishandled snap. It never got to Lamar Jackson. That's a negative play to set up third down. Tobiah Hewley is the senior center.
Well, one of the things you cannot do tonight is turn it over. And here's a junior college center that thought the quarterback was up under. People think that cannot happen. It sure can happen, especially with a young quarterback. And you're not sure whether the quarterback was supposed to be up there or not.
It is unusual when the center doesn't know that the quarterback isn't there, but that's what happened there. It's 3rd and 5.
Wake's got good blitz packages on third down.
And they show some pressure and get to Jackson, who dumps it off, almost intercepted. That was a dangerous pass. Nearly picked off by Brad Watson, who's been their best cover corner, number 25.
Yeah, Brad Watson's a young guy from Round Rock, Texas, that is their best defensive back. And they put a lot of pressure with their blitz package on the young quarterback. They forced Jackson out and made him throw a poor throw. Nearly an interception there. What Louisville cannot do tonight is have tackles for loss or turnovers and still get this game in the position they want it to be in. Yeah, great stop by Wake Forest.
You're right. The mistakes have really been costly. Louisville's done some good things on offense, and a lot of big mistakes have been costly. So 3 and out on both sides. A booming punt from Josh Appleby. Fair catch. Wake Forest gets the ball back when we come back to Winston-Salem. No score early. You're watching the ACC on ESPN from the campus of Wake Forest University. It's Farrell Hall with the students buzzing around. Friday night football on campus. Wake hosting Louisville. And we are just getting started. 2 3 and outs, one on each side. So Wake, the defense holds. They get the ball back, and John Wolford, the sophomore quarterback, on the field for the second time. And kind of an unusual formation on first down. They will hand the ball off out of that formation, and they just know where to go. It will be a challenge. Tyler Bell with the carry. Keith Kelsey among many others in on the tackle.
It's really a mismatch with the Wake Forest front, the offensive line, against this great Louisville front seven. Big guys up front. Linebackers run so well. You start looking at Kelsey, and he's one of the best players in the country. And that play was Devontae Fields, a transfer from TCU.
That guy got a great start to his career. Ran into problems in Fort Worth. Now in Louisville, another handoff. And again, just not a lot of room. Tyler Bell with the short gain to set up third down. Now Wake last year, they were historically bad running the ball. Their offense just had a miserable year. They have been better, and still modest. They're 115th in the country, but I think for the Deamon Deacons, trying to rebuild this program, incremental improvements, that's what they're focusing on.
Well, and right now they're having to see improvements off the field because they're having trouble getting wins against a good team. You can see they're looking with a check with me to the sideline every time with a run or a pass.
Yeah, plenty of time on the play clock. 4-man rush. Here comes the pressure, and Wolford goes down. That's the first sack of the night. And it's Trayvon Young, who had a huge game last week against Boston College. Had 3 sacks, forced a fumble, and he's off to a good start tonight.
Yeah, Trayvon had 3 sacks last week. He was actually the ACC Defensive Player of the Week, and he comes through and just whips Phil Paynes. And that's what Louisville needed to do, is press that pocket and make him either hold the ball or make some poor throws. So really good defensive play by Louisville on 3rd and long. Wake's got to get ahead of the chains.
And now their All-American punter Kinnell will try to angle punt, kind of a low line drive kick. And it is returned, but returned in the wrong direction. Sturgill knocked backwards. That's good coverage by the Deamon Deacons. Good special teams tackle by Brad Watson. So Louisville's offense back on the field. And for more on their true freshman quarterback Lamar Jackson, here's Allison.
Well, it's kind of interesting to hear how he ended up at Louisville. I mean, you look at the program and they have a number of guys that can play quarterback, so they really weren't interested in signing another quarterback. But Lamar Thomas, their wide receiver coach, who has ties to South Florida, played for the Hurricanes and the Dolphins, saw Lamar and said, we got to sign this guy just based on pure athleticism. So he went to Coach Petrino, and Petrino took one look at his tape and he was sold as well and said, yeah, we'll find a place for this guy.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a really cool story, Allison, and they found a place for him right away as the starting quarterback, which I just don't think a lot of folks expected that. Under center on 1st down with the handoff. Just across the 40 out to the 41, L.J. Scott, the sophomore running back.
But Wake's tough to run against. They're really good with their front 7. Mike Elko's done a tremendous job. He's got guys up front that can take on blocks and make tackles. Where they've had trouble is in space.
Well, there's Lamar Thomas, who Allison was talking about, part of this Louisville coaching staff. Helped find Jackson on the move, rolling. He'll try to get to that corner, and he saved a loss, but good pursuit by Markel Lee to shove him out of bounds.
Yeah, Markel Lee's an NFL prospect. He's got length. He's tough. But you can't lose contain if you're number 93, Zeke Rodney, because they've got to keep Jackson up inside, because when he gets outside with the ability to run or pass, he can really cause you problems as the game goes on. Keep him up inside.
3rd and 11. Not the kind of spot where Louisville's all that comfortable with their true freshman quarterback. Another poor snap. Ball dropped across the middle by James Quick.
Yeah, a lot of pressure that time on Lamar Jackson. He threw it too hard. He got it out of his hands a little quick, because Quick is one of the best players in the country, and he was really wide open. You get the ball in his hands right there, you got trouble, and that's been the trouble with the Wake Forest defense. But they did put pressure on him here with a really good package. Josh Banks, good pass rusher, took the inside move and just made Lamar throw the ball too soon.
Well, that's the idea for the Wake defense, that's for sure. 2
really good stops by the Wake defense.
Tabari Hines back to receive this punt. And it's a good punt by Appleby. They'll go over Hines' head, bounces, and it's in the end zone for a touchback. So Louisville and Quick couldn't quite save it. And that'll help Wake Forest with their field position as their offense comes back on the field. Good punt. Just a bad bounce for the Cardinals. No score. The Home Depot from a very cool spot just outside Independent Hall in Philadelphia. Number 9 Notre Dame on the road to take on one of the surprises in the country, number 21 Temple. And the Owls need to be a Rocky-like underdog against powerful Notre Dame. All starts at 9 Eastern on ESPN, also streaming live on Watch ESPN. Here in the ACC, Wake Forest with the ball for the 3rd time. Nobody's been able to move it yet. Wolford has a man open, and he completes a pass out to the 40-yard line. The true freshman, Tabari Hines. Nice delivery from the quarterback.
Yes, and he's got a bad right ankle. He's got the high ankle that Allison talked about earlier in the show, but he really pushed off the back foot that time. Really good protection, because they're using play action early with the fake to the tailback to hold the defensive lineman from pass rush.
So that's by far the best gain on either side. Best play in this first quarter before that one had been a 7-yard run for the Cardinals. Wolford hands the ball off, straight ahead running. Couple of yards for Tyler Bell.
Yeah, so Louisville's going to press those outside receivers, and they're going to keep 7 and 8 in the box. They lowered the big safety, Harvey Clemens, that time. So 25 walk down, but they're going to be right in their face, and they're going to make sure that he has to hold the ball a little bit longer so they can get those really good pass rushers back to the quarterback.
2nd and 8. Wolford, pocket, breaks down almost immediately. On the move with that ankle, throws, knocked down, incomplete.
Another fantastic pass rush by Trevon Young. That guy's really quick. He can get from here to there very fast. He beats again Haynes inside, but he is we were told he was advertised as one of the best pass rushers in the country, and I can see what they mean now. He's been a factor already early in this ball game.
Yeah, we talked about those 3 sacks last week, 2 sacks the week before. He's already got 1 tonight, so he is on a big-time roll. The junior college transfer, native of Des Moines, Iowa.
Once again, check with me from the boundary. Runner pass.
3rd and a long 8. A little extra pressure comes. Nice delivery. The open field tackle, though. And that big tight end, Cam Serenay, who is a talented player, stopped short of a first down. Tremaine Washington with the good tackle. Deamon Deacons, 4th down and about 3, maybe near midfield, had some sort of decision, but they will decide to punt the ball away.
Yeah, Cam Serenay is one of the best receiving tight ends in the country. He's still working on his blocking, but they thought they would have to match his tall frame against some smaller defensive backs to be successful tonight.
Well, Alex Kinnell, this is his 3rd punt already. If he gets 10 tonight, he matches an all-time career NCAA record for most punts.
And that's not a record you want, by the way.
Maybe as an individual. I'm not sure as a program you'd be putting that on the front of the media guide. Fair catch signal, and the ball is dropped on the turf, still loose. And I think Wake Forest came up with it. A misplay on special teams with the normal Louisville return man, Jair Alexander, out for this game. Zach Wary came up with the ball for Wake Forest. That's a turnover that gives the Deamon Deacons great field position.
These are the mistakes you can't make, especially on the road. Louisville has the really good win last week against Boston College. Wake Forest has been reeling for the last 2 weeks. Louisville needed to get off to a good start because they've outscored people 42-3 in the first quarter, and Wake needed to be in the game at the end of the first quarter because they were down 28-0 quickly last week. So now Wake's got to try to get 7 points on the board.
Well, it is a problem. Their punt returner is out. Wolford comes out, and we get our first look at Kendall Hinton, the dynamic true freshman quarterback for Wake Forest. He will fake and then get drilled. Man, Louisville read that beautifully. Devontae Fields, Keith Kelsey, and more in on the tackle. Second and goal.
Penetration. Louisville front's really, really good. And we know, we've talked about the youth and inexperience and struggles of the Wake Forest offensive line.
As part of the reason why they have used this player, Kendall Hinton, more often, because he has that escapability. I think also in the red zone gives you some extra options. Second and goal, and now back outside the 10 around the 13-yard line. Hinton again is going to keep it. Trying to pick his way to the outside. Good open field tackle. Josh Harvey-Clemens has been everywhere in this first quarter.
Josh is a 6'5", 230-pound safety that's a transfer from Georgia. And you can see he fights off the blocker. He keeps his outside shoulder free and makes the tackle for no gain. So all of a sudden you're sitting here at 3rd down and goal from about the 13-yard line. Tough spot for Wake. Be smart. Still trying to give the freshman a play he feels comfortable with from the boundary.
Getting in the pocket, pressured. He will go down. Number 91 again. My goodness, he is just piling up sack after sack. Trevon Young, 3 last week, already 2 this week.
Well, he's the guy that Wake had to worry about, but Haynes is not going to be able to block him one-on-one on 3rd and long. They're going to have to chip. They're going to have to move the quarterback because that's just a mismatch, and that's going to happen all night unless they start giving Haynes some help.
And now Mike Weaver, a sophomore eligibility-wise. He is 25 years old, the place kicker for Wake Forest. Good snap and hold. The kick is up and good. Well, the special teams turnover for Louisville, and Wake Forest turns it into points. The Deamon Deacons take a 3-0 lead.
ESPN College Football is presented by Jimmy John's Freaky Fast Sandwiches.
Well, beautiful night on the campus of Wake Forest. Nice look at the Waite Chapel. 3-0. Deamon Deacons have taken a lead after a special teams turnover for Louisville. Who knows, Coach? That was good enough to get their only ACC win of the year so far. They beat Boston College on the road 3-0. Night before Halloween, they got students out getting ready for the holiday. It'll be a big weekend on campus, I'm sure.
Well, and Mike Elko told us when they've been able to hang in there till the fourth quarter in tight ball games and low scoring games, because they're only averaging 18 points a game, it gives them a chance.
Kick goes out of bounds. That's a mistake for Wake.
Kick out of bounds. Ball will be placed on the 35-yard line. First down.
David Epperly, our ACC referee tonight. This is the first Friday night home game for Wake Forest since 1967. So it's their first home game against Louisville. Louisville's still new to the ACC. A lot of firsts, and people were excited about a different stage, a more national stage for this Wake football program.
Well, and that's the good news. The bad news is Bobby Petrino's 7-0 on Friday night. So
they are used to it.
They are used to it.
They got to get the offense going. This is the third time they've had the ball. They have a total of 4 yards. Lamar Jackson will keep it. Straight ahead run. The ball comes out at the end of the run. I thought he was down. And that one official is spotting him down. I think he was down. Kenny Thomas ended up pouncing on the ball, but they're going to give him forward progress on the run, which wasn't much, just a couple of yards.
Well, Dave, we can say, too, Bobby Petrino's not able to run the traditional offense, and that's the drop-back pro style he wants to.
That quick pass left side, quick with the catch and that burst of speed. Tackled out of bounds, but a first down, their first of the game.
And Louisville knows that Wake has really struggled tackling in space, so they're going to try to get those big, fast receivers in space with the ball quickly, because that, in essence, was the same as a run.
Yeah, and going back to the point that you were making, it is not the classic Bobby Petrino offense that they're running. Another one of those style passes. This time, Wake read it beautifully. Brandon Chubb, one of their leaders, with the tackle for a loss of several yards.
Yeah,
he lost 5 on that play.
Smart player, really good player, team captain, unbalanced into the boundary, and he just runs right up and comes right between 2 blockers and makes the play for a loss.
Yeah, the wide receivers just kind of whiffed on that block attempt. 2nd and 15. That throw over the middle, incomplete, little high. Intended for Jamari Staples, who's a big, productive target.
Yeah, the upside for Lamar Jackson is so good and so high. He's going to be an exceptional player, but he's still having a little trouble with his accuracy on some of the passes.
And that's kind of the point you're making about their modified offense. You got a true freshman quarterback. Part of the reason why he's playing so early is they have offensive line problems themselves. They haven't been able to hold up with a more traditional drop back style passer. On 3rd and 15, Jackson going to take off. No, he's still looking to throw. Now he will go, and he decided too late. Pushed out of bounds by Chubb once again. And now the offensive lineman, K.S. McNeil, goes in to make sure his quarterback can get off that sideline.
No, exceptional play by Chubb, and Chubb's a guy that was committed to Appalachian, and nobody even talked to him, even from Wake, when Coach Grove decided to take him on Sunday. And what a tremendous player he's been for this program, and starter. You said it, but Louisville's played 10 different guys in that offensive line, and they've struggled with 4 new starters from last year. They're struggling as much as Wake up front.
So another good series for the Wake Forest defense. Appleby punt almost blocked. Good job getting that one off. Fair catch at around the 18-yard line. Another big college football Saturday ahead of us tomorrow. That means time for Watch ESPN. You can stream every game live. Download the app or go to watchespn.com. Got to have it on those college football Saturdays. And there are some big games, significant games tomorrow in the ACC. Clemson trying to stay unbeaten all the way up to 3rd in the country. Just down the road in Raleigh at NC State. Maryland, Iowa still undefeated in the Big Ten. The Notre Dame Temple matchup we've talked about. Things are rocking again in the Palouse. Washington State hosts a top 10 Stanford team. It is that freshman quarterback for this series, Kendall Hinton. So Matt Colburn with the carry for a positive gain on first down. Allison Williams. There's the head coach, Dave Clawson. And Dave trying to get this program turned around, Allison.
Yeah, and of course with anything, starts up front, right, guys? And that was something he was addressing with his offensive line, trying to fix some of the problems they've had with protection. One of the things he told his guys, you have to get off the ball together. They need to be more in sync up front.
Yeah, major problems those first few series. Nice delivery, and what a catch, an open field move. Cortez Lewis off to the races, to the 10, touchdown. That was a beautiful pass, but then a great move, a missed tackle turned into a 78-yard touchdown play. The freshman Cortez Lewis from Demopolis, Alabama. A two-play, 82-yard scoring drive. Wow. Now movement all over the place on the point after try.
When you go on the road as a head coach, you can't let the other team get excited, especially when they've had two bad weeks.
On the defense, half the distance, 2 to go, replay.
So I can tell you Bobby Petrino is livid right now, and he's trying to get some people stirred up on that sideline. You can see the look on his face. Are you kidding me? We're down 10-0. We've been playing well. We're trying to get our offense started. We've let a deep ball get free with guys around him. We've dropped a punt. Come on, guys. Let's get this thing straight and start playing better.
All right, this is a Wake Forest offense that has just had huge problems. That's their longest play from scrimmage all year. Extra point up and good. The Deamon Deacons with a 10-0 lead.
Trying to get guys around the line of scrimmage. You got 25 coming here. You've got 15 out here, and they're supposed to be covering in bump coverage. It's man free. They can't get there from the line of scrimmage. He makes an exceptional catch, turns it back inside. The safety overruns it, and you've got 2 guys on him with a free safety that's there free to try to help. And Cortez makes a one-hand catch, turns up inside, and what a play over Washington. Those are the type plays that get your team excited, and Wake Forest hadn't had a lot of excitement on offense. Young freshman quarterback, now he's excited. Even the offensive lineman said, hey, we gave you some time. Big guy, and he's pumped. Those guys are excited, and all of a sudden Louisville's got a ball game. Look out.
10-0 Wake Forest. What a start for them. 3:36 to go in the first quarter. And I think the Cardinals are stunned. I mean, Wake was down last week at home, 28-0. NC State scored 4 touchdowns in 10 minutes. And the Wake Forest folks, the players, the fans, the coaches were just stunned. Total different story here tonight. Short kickoff and confusion as to who's going to pick it up and return it. That return is not going very far. Wow. Everything is out of sync right now for Louisville. Corvin Lamb ended up returning it. The Cardinals offense needs to get it going. 3 plays, 5 plays, 3 punts in the first quarter.
The Louisville offensive coaches told us that they really felt like Mike Elko had an exceptional scheme, and he knew how to blitz you on 3rd down. He knew how to pressure. He knew how to stop the run. So they got to settle the young quarterback down. He still had opportunities to make plays, so you start the game over.
15 total yards. And for all the improvements that Louisville has made these last few weeks, their offense has still not been great. Now they move early. On 1st down, before they even snap the ball, they go backwards.
False start. Offense, number 75. 5-yard, 1st down.
That is not a happy look.
No, it's a look of frustration because you came out of a game last week with Boston College where you felt like your offense played a little better, had opportunities at least 3 different times to score and get points when they had setbacks, and they're starting out tonight with penalties and lost yardage play and missed passes.
1st and 15. That's a quick hitter right side and a nice cut upfield by Jamari Staples, who's a good player. Stopped short of a 1st down, but a nice big game for the transfer from UAB.
Yeah, good call from Garrett McGee, the offensive coordinator, trying to get the young quarterback something to be comfortable with and get it started. And Jamari Staples played for Garrett at UAB, and he actually beat Bobby Petrino at Western Kentucky on him, so he doesn't want to talk to the boss about that very often.
Yeah, they try to not bring that game up. Now Jackson falls down, so I don't know what was going on there, trying to hand the ball off to Scott, and Jackson just tripped and fell.
Zone read. quarterback's eyes were looking outside. The back thought he was going to get the ball, so he reached over it and clamped. And the quarterback's got to be more aggressive, pulling the ball out to make sure the back knows that it's not a halfway play, because that's very likely on the ground.
Over the top throw on third down. Jump ball. What a catch by Staples. That's a first down that Louisville needed. The undersized Deontay Austin had good coverage. He was right there.
Yeah, Deontay's a 5'11", 165-pound guy. And he's on a 6'4" guy, and that's a tall guy and a short guy.
Yep.
And that's what they wanted to do coming in here in an excellent throw.
That is good coverage. Just a better play. They're going to feed Staples now. He's got 3 catches in a row. That one for a gain of about 5 on first down. Into Wake Forest territory just barely for the first time.
Trying to get the young quarterback settled down. You can see they're running a control tempo offense. They're not going fast. He's looking to the boundary to see what play they want to call. Both of these offenses will get checked with me's, meaning a runner pass from the boundary every time.
They're going to run the ball here. Just no room up front.
Coaches love Hunter Williams, number 30. He's a guy can plug the hole. He was a walk-on that became a scholarship guy. He's up for academic All-American. He's got a 3.1 or 3.5 grade point average, and he has great work ethic. They love the way this guy plays and leads.
You saw the C on the front of his jersey as he jogged off the field. He's one of the captains. 3rd and 4. Jackson throws middle, caught. And it's Staples again. He took a big hit, held onto the ball, down to the Wake Forest 36-yard line. Another Louisville first down.
It's good coverage by Brad Watson, the junior defensive back from Round Rock, Texas. The footwork wasn't exactly what you wanted with Lamar. He was turned left, threw across his body, but a really good throw.
1st and 10, swing pass to the tailback, Scott, who gets a yard, maybe. Brad Watson is playing well again for Wake Forest.
Yeah, Brad's a good player. He actually came to our camp at Texas. I probably messed up on him. Should have gotten him to come to University of Texas. Saw his dad before the game. He's a smart young man, a really good young man, and their best corner. Leader on this team.
2nd and 9, 7-play drive. Finally, the Cardinals are moving the ball. Nearing the end of quarter number 1. Handoff. That traditional ground game just is not there, and that's not new. They have had a really hard time running the ball. That time it was Bonifant.
And the strength of both of these defenses are the front 7. People have not been able to run the ball well.
84 rushes for no gain or negative yardage. That's one of the worst totals in all of college football.
Yeah, they're really concerned about their offensive line. It's not a new problem. You don't play 10, Dave, when you're settled, because you'd like to have 5 with a bunch of starts.
Yeah, Louisville big favorite on the road, but they're going to get tested tonight. Wake Forest feisty, and at the end of quarter number 1 in Winston-Salem in this ACC matchup, the Deamon Deacons came to play tonight. They lead Louisville 10-0.
Huh, 15 minutes could save.
Temple, Saturday.
You're watching the ACC on ESPN on this beautiful late October night in North Carolina. We're at Wake Forest, and the Deamon Deacons underdogs at home, just 3-5 overall, with a 10-0 lead as we start the second quarter. Dave Fleming, Mac Brown, Allison Williams with you. Day before Halloween. There's some students up there in that spot, huh?
Yeah, students having fun on Halloween.
They got a nice little balcony up top. 3rd and 9 on the first play of quarter number 2 for Lamar Jackson and Louisville. Pressure right up the middle to throw. A nice delivery. Open field tackle. And that will stop the tight end short of the first down. Cameron Glenn, who is not fully healthy, with a nice tackle. Cole Nicotini with the catch and run.
Start looking at 48 coming up inside. That's Brandon Chubb. He's right in the young quarterback's face. Lamar Jackson does an exceptional job sitting in there and throwing the ball. And here, if you're the Louisville team, you go for the 4th down and 2.
Yeah, they decided to go
Time
for
out. Wake Forest, look first.
And Wake Forest
30-second timeout.
was not quite ready, so they use a timeout. Good spot, I think, for a timeout. It's a big play. 4th and 2 coming up. And Brandon Chubb has come ready to play tonight, and that doesn't surprise us. We had a chance, Mac, to meet him yesterday, talk to him. He comes from a great football family. His dad played in the ACC, played in the NFL. You recognize the last name, I think, most especially from his cousin Nick, who is out for the year hurt, but a star running back at Georgia. And I think part of what Wake is trying to develop here, Mac, is lean on guys like Brandon Chubb, like some of their other veterans, to show some leadership with a young roster. I mean, this is the youngest. There's six seniors on this Wake Forest team. Show a little bit of leadership to help lead them back to where they were. It wasn't that long ago where Wake Forest was competitive in the ACC.
Jim Grove recruited some really good players, and Dave Clawson said their defense was loaded last year. 2 top corners go to the NFL, and he knew that he had some really good players. Offensively, they're having to rebuild.
One big play in this game, and they've got a 10-0 lead. 4th and 2 for Louisville. Under center, and it's Bonifan, the quarterback, not Jackson on this 4th down. He will play fake, roll, and deliver the pass on target right to that stick. It's a 1st down. Charles Stanberry, the sophomore tight end, who's kind of like a swing player, receiver tight end. But you use the backup quarterback, and he delivers.
He played up under the center much more than Jackson. Jackson was a shotgun guy, so you got Bonifan in a position where he can run for the 4th and 2, or he can throw. Very good play call and execution by Louisville.
So they convert on 4th down. Bonifan stays in as a tailback, and that's how they're using him a lot. This is the 11th play of the drive. They fake it to Bonifan. Jackson, who is so fast, so athletic. He's not real big, though, so running between the tackles, you would not say that's the strength of his game.
No, that's a read play, and he can hand it to Bonifan outside, but Wake Forest is doing a good job against that weak and inexperienced Louisville offensive line of penetrating, playing with their hands, and doing a good job of stalling the running game from Louisville. Their best running back, their leading rusher, is the quarterback, Lamar Jackson. And they knew they had to stop him to win this game.
A much better drive for the Cardinals here, but trying to put some points on the board. That throw, I think that was tipped. The ball was delivered low, intended for James Quick, but it was tipped.
Got a lot of pressure up front. Wake wants you in 3rd down and 9. When you've got the inexperienced offensive line, this is when defensive coordinator Mike Elko can really draw up some defensive pressures that are unique and make it tough with disguise on the young quarterback. And you have to keep the right to kick here, Dave. No turnovers, because this is one area where it's hurt Louisville.
Well, they do have a strong-legged place kicker. Jackson trying to run for it, gets stopped short at about the 20-yard line. It will be 4th down. Markel Lee with the tackle.
People would think that's a conservative call, but it's quarterback draw. You're hoping to get the pressures upfield and squirt for the 1st down on 3rd down and 9, but now you've got the right to kick, and you can get it back to 10-3.
John Wallace, who's been the kicker at Louisville for a long time, 2nd most field goals made in school history. This one from 37 yards, trying to give the Cardinals their first points. Kick is up, and it is perfect. So Louisville drives down the field, gets points on the board. Wake Forest with a 10-3 lead. When we come back, the honorary captain, distinguished alum. You recognize him from the PGA Tour, U.S. Open champion Webb Simpson. Here tonight, he's going to join us when we come back to Winston-Salem. Well, we're back here at Wake Forest. They have an incredible tradition in their athletic department. In the golf program, Arnold Palmer headlines the all-time list, but Curtis Strange, Jay Haas, and the man who's with us here tonight, Webb Simpson, holding up the trophy, U.S. Open champion from just a couple of years ago. Welcome to the broadcast booth, Webb.
Thank you. Honorary
captain tonight. How was it?
Thank you, Webb.
It was great. It was a different experience for me.
Yeah, well, you're here supporting your alma mater. They have a lead. They're playing well tonight.
Yep.
You're the co-captain, honorary captain, so you're the reason they're up 10-3.
I know. I'm excited. I mean, I got my 3 kids down there watching this from the suite, and you know, I'm juggling peanut butter and jellies and chicken fingers, trying to watch a couple plays here and there.
Trying to keep it off your shirt. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Kickoff. Wake Forest will have the ball, and on the return, starting at around the 17-yard line. Well, Webb, part of the great golf tradition here at Wake. It really is an incredible tradition. Is that part of the reason why you came here as a student?
It is. I mean, I saw so many guys, like you just named a few of them, come through here and go on to have success in the PGA Tour. And golf was so important to me that, you know, I wanted to make sure that I could stay focused on golf, and I thought if I went to a bigger university, it might be a little tougher. So Wake, you know, when I graduated, we had 4,000 undergrad, and was able to really focus on golf. And, you know, playing under Jerry Haas was a big goal of mine as well. Yeah, so you had a chance to stay in contact with the program, not just the golf program, but you're back on campus every once in a while? Absolutely. We're just down the road in Charlotte, and so we'd love to get back as much as we can and support the Deeks.
Webb, you got to tell us what you see here now.
You do a little football play-by-play?
Yeah, we gained a yard there.
Okay. How's the golf game?
It's good. You know, a goal of mine every season is to make it to the President's Cup and, you know, ultimately win a tournament or two. Didn't do that this year, so a few letdowns, but I'm a guy who always believes in trying to get better, and I think I'm getting better. So hopefully I can stay on this path and come out next season firing. Different sports, obviously, golf and football. Is there a guy on the PGA Tour who would make a good football player? We don't have many. I mean, we don't have many guys that are big, you know, and strong and fast. Maybe a wide receiver? Yeah, I mean, or a couple punters. Yeah, no offense to the punters out there. Yeah, we could probably find a punter.
There aren't many football players that would be good golfers, or coaches, may I say, as we get into that.
No.
If you were going to tell a young golfer what he needs to do to get to your level, what would you tell him?
I would tell him to keep enjoying the game while at the same time working hard, and I think that's a tough balance. But, you know, my dad knew how to push me and still get me to enjoy the game. I see too many young players now taking it too serious far too soon. So I think enjoying the game, but keeping in mind the end goal, which is to, you know, play on a professional level. Well, good words of advice. It's 3rd and 14. Webb Simpson, nice enough to drop by and say hi. That pass incomplete, so it'll be 4th down. Now, Mac, you know, a Texas guy, he is a speed guy. We're both fans of yours, but yeah. A little biased toward Jordan, maybe.
I'm proud of Jordan.
Yeah.
He's been one of those guys that seems to have the balance of having some fun and working and giving back like you do to the community in Charlotte. And John Swafford talked about you last night. We had dinner, and Johnny Harris and all the people at Quail Hollow just love the way you treat people and the way you act off the course, much less on the course. But what a great leader for all of us.
Well, yeah, Jordan's done, he's done so many good things already, and I love to see him playing well. It seems like I need to get out of this booth, though, because I'm not bringing the Deeks some good fortune. All right, well, we'll let you go, but we do appreciate you stopping by. Go get some chicken fingers for the kids again, but thanks for being with us. Thanks for having me. Congrats on being the honorary captain. Yeah, thank you. U.S. Open champions. Thank you so much. His Deamon Deacons leading Louisville 10-3.
I thought you said they got a Buick.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Buick, proud partner of the NCAA.
Well, cool look at something they call Project Pumpkin, annual service event here at Wake Forest. They started it many years ago. Students, faculty on campus get together with about 1,000 kids from around the community for a trick-or-treat Halloween festival. Nice thing that they do. Louisville gets the ball back after a nice defensive series, and you can see the athletic skills of James Quick, who is knocked out of bounds, and here comes a penalty flag. Late hit. So the plus yardage on the play, they're going to add penalty yards onto it. And Tyler Harris can't believe that he committed that penalty.
After the play, personal foul, defense number 36, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Now the Wake fans aren't happy about it. So he's sort of trailing the play.
He's hustling, big, strong guy. The guy, he's standing right there on the boundary, so that's really close. Now, I think the official doesn't see it. I think that was called by the Louisville bench.
Yeah, you may be right about that one. You can understand why he came over, trying to help make sure the play was over.
Yeah, let him play. Take care of him, but let him play. Come on, officials.
James Quick, he was not going down easily. 1st and 10 for Louisville. They hand off. Scott, again, just tough to find any sort of yardage. This time Grant Dawson with the tackle.
Yeah, coming downhill at linebacker, young sophomore, big offensive lineman, Christian pulling up inside, and he came up underneath him. Very good stop on first down.
Well, we did appreciate having Webb Simpson, U.S. Open champion, Wake Forest alum, honorary captain, up here in the booth with us.
Love to see great players being super role models.
And he is that. Jackson rolling out, throwing, and incomplete. Trying to throw back across his body to his tight end, Hicatini. 3rd and 9.
Yeah, that was a sprint left, and he tried to plant his feet and throw back to the tight end on an underneath crossing route because Wake Forest is playing so hard and have so much pursuit, and he just didn't have enough time to set his feet.
Totally different week for Wake Forest on defense than last week, playing so much better. Jackson looking for somewhere to go with the ball, and it's caught inside the 5. Perfect pass in traffic. Reggie Bonifant, the second string quarterback, now a running back wide out. Mr. Versatile with a big play.
Yes, only a 2-man rush here. So they're dropping 9 guys. And I'm really impressed with the quarterback. Young guy growing up, standing tall, stepping up in the pocket, being patient, and throwing a dart for a first down to the 3-yard line.
Yeah, that was big time. And now the guy who caught the pass goes under center as the quarterback. That doesn't happen very often, back-to-back plays. On 1st and goal, handoff, straight ahead, stopped short. Jeremy Smith stood up at about the 2.
Unbalanced line with motion.
And now a flag, and this will be a huge call. If this is against Louisville, that changes things entirely.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct on the offense, number 75, 15-yard penalty, 2nd down.
My goodness, what a horrible penalty for Louisville. Skylar Lacey. It happened really as the play was over. On the right side, I think you'll see Lacey come in. Well, I think they thought the play was over, and he came in and knocked the defender down.
Sometimes it looks like a little bit of a makeup call. Maybe it wasn't awful, but he did hit him after the play. And then he probably said something to the official, because you saw Coach Petrino say, keep your mouth shut. But they can't have these penalties. Bobby said last week they had 3 opportunities that were taken away by lost yards and penalties, so be smart.
Well, that's just a killer. It's 2nd and goal from the 2. Now it's 2nd and goal from the 16-yard line. Well, your chances of getting in the end zone go way down. Jackson pass caught, big hit by Markel Lee. Tobridge, the tight end, did hang on.
Markel Lee, very impressive linebacker, NFL prospect, sitting and waiting. Tight end coming across, the perfect tackle.
Well, now it's 3rd and goal. Kid from Maryland.
Be smart again, young quarterback. Could be screen, could be draw, could be quarterback draw.
Jackson in the pocket with tons of time. He'll throw. He's got the pass complete. Lunging for the goal line. Now the ball pops out. They signal touchdown. Jamari Staples. Wake thought they had the ball. Staples fighting for the goal line, and apparently he got there. What an effort. Well, the turf definitely forced the ball out. Now they're going to look at this one.
Is under further review.
I mean, there are 2 questions really. Does the ball come out before he's down? Is he down before the goal line? Both important questions. And I think that first look was the key look. So far, I don't think that knee's down. Right there is the ball to the goal line.
I think he's definitely down, and I bet they spot it just short because the knee was down inches away from the goal line.
It's very, very close, and it's hard to tell with 100% certainty, not just for us, but I think for that replay official as well.
And if you're the coaching staffs now, Dave, you're trying to decide, is it going to be 4th and short, or is it a goal line? So you're actually coming up with your 4th and 6-inch offensive play. If you're the offensive staff, on defense, you're trying to figure out what you can do to maybe stuff a play on short yardage. Does he kick the field goal? I don't think so if you're that close. But once again, it was a 2-man rush, and we have to say that Lamar Jackson is showing so much poise in the pocket. He stepped up again and was patient and patient. So I think we'll see Wake get away from that 2-man rush. They're going to have to put more pressure on him, and they're doing that to make him throw and keep him from running. But he's throwing the ball downfield well.
Yeah, you can see why they are impressed. And number 2 has been impressive too. Jamari Staples, what an effort by him. Bob Welch is our replay official, so he's been taking a look at it. This is not an easy one.
After review, ruling on the field stands, touchdown.
And I think you just couldn't tell for sure that he was stopped short. So that ruling on the field takes precedent, and Dave Clawson is furious. But I think, based on what we had, that's the right decision.
Well, what an exceptional play by Jamari Staples. I mean, the quarterback gets it to him, but he understood he had to score.
Yeah, tremendous play by Staples. So the passing game coming to life for Louisville. That big one down the field to Bonifan. After the penalty move the Cardinals back, it was Jackson to Staples. Louisville ties the game at 10.
College Game Day live for the hustle, for understanding time is money. Thank you for working freaky fast to save our customers precious minutes every day.
Ever had a burger made like Applebee's genuine, handcrafted, freshly ground, seared, flavor bombed, piled high, original one-of-a-kind all-in burgers with free refills of fries and a surprisingly low bill, only at Applebee's.
Dave Fleming, Mac Brown, Allison Williams back in Winston-Salem. John Wolford is in at quarterback, the sophomore for this series. 1st and 10, just outside their own 10-yard line. Handoff. Nice gain out across the 15 to about the 17-yard line. Matt Colburn, who is a true freshman, South Carolina native, and he may have a little extra motivation tonight back because he was recruited and committed to Louisville. And at the very last minute, right before signing day, the scholarship offer changed. He was asked to gray shirt, not get a scholarship, at least initially. So he decided not to sign with the Cardinals, came to Wake Forest, playing against the team that he thought he'd be playing for.
It's not maybe.
Yeah.
He does have extra motivation, let me assure you.
And he's a talented guy. Colburn gets the carry here. He may be their best pure running back. So a kid who's got a chance to play a lot of snaps for Wake.
And Dave Clawson told us they would play both quarterbacks. You're sitting here with 4:12 left. You've got to change field position. You're okay going in 10-10, but you've got your thrower in the game, your older guy that's going to make good decisions, and your leader.
And they have 10 points. They have 109 total yards. 78 of those came, though, on their touchdown play. So other than the one big touchdown play, they've had a hard time moving the ball. Wolford throws incomplete, high, intended for Cortez Lewis, who thought there was extra contact. 4th down. Tremaine Washington with the coverage. Wake will punt.
Yeah, they had man coverage, and they brought the blitz up inside. Let's see what the flag is.
Yeah, very, very late. So Wolford's not going to go to the sideline. That was clearly after the play.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on the defense. Number 92, 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
I mean, that cannot happen. That's a 1st down here. Louisville's getting the ball back. Devontae Fields, the TCU transfer, was the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year, but essentially was kicked out of school and has wound up at Louisville with a huge penalty.
Yeah, and you can see Coach Petrino saying, what'd he do? What'd he say? Because sometimes you get frustrated as a coach, but here's a young guy that had to leave TCU. He went to a junior college, and he just got here in August, so he's still learning the coaches. He's still trying to learn the team. Yeah, critical mistake, though. You can't do that.
Wolford back on the field with some new life, going to take a shot down the field. Pass is incomplete, but here come 2 penalty flags. Here comes a 3rd. Shaq Wiggins with the coverage, intended for KJ Brent.
Defense, number 6, 15-yard penalty, automatic, 1st down.
Now Wiggins is arguing that he was the one who was interfered with. He may have a case. Well, there might be something to that.
Well, they're hand fighting. When he pushed him right at the end and he had both arms around him, the officials are going to call it on the defense just about every time, unless the offensive receiver absolutely pushes off and gets separation. Once again, the underthrown ball is the hardest ball to defend in college football. That comes back to Devontae Fields.
Back-to-back 15-yard penalties. Fields one, now Wiggins the other. Wolford on the move. Wolford is going to run, and he will go out of bounds. Try to protect himself. He gets a few yards into Louisville territory. It's not that he can't move at all. He's not as athletic in the run game as Kendall Hinton is.
And I think he's about 90%. He's such a tough young man that loves to play. And the coaches just absolutely love everything that he stands for and he does. You can see the brace on his right ankle, which is his plant foot. And he's just not as quick to get away from the rush. But right now, the Wake front's doing a pretty good job because the offense is balancing between run and pass.
Yeah, we haven't heard from Trevon Young in a while. Those pass rushers for Louisville. Play clock winding down. Wolford gets in position and gets the snap off. Throwing again, incomplete, high for Lewis.
Probably threw that one away because number 15, Tremaine Washington, was all over it, and they're bumping them, and they're probably going to go with a double move, hitch and go, hook and go, slant and go, something here to try to get the ball deep. But Wake also wants to use all this time, use the rest of the 3-0-3 because they don't want Louisville getting the ball back.
0 for 7 on third downs in this game. Pressure picked up. That throw knocked away. More good coverage by Washington, again intended for Lewis. He missed the tackle on the long touchdown play. Otherwise, he's made some nice plays for the Cardinals.
Louisville's doing a very good job. They're blitzing up inside here and they're bumping outside. So they're making it very, very difficult. Wake did a good job with the protection and the pickup. But outside, they're not going to be able to throw hitches and stop routes when you're bumping them. And Tremaine Washington, who ripped the ball loose for a big play last week, is playing lights out tonight after he gave up the long touchdown play.
Fourth down, another punt for Alex Kinnell. This is his 6th of the game. We're headed toward record territory with him, and a good one. Bouncing inside the 10, that'll be down at about the 8-yard line. So while we have a moment, let's check back into the studio with Adnan.
All right, Dave, thank you very much. Coming up on the DXL halftime report, Joey Galloway and myself. The Temple Owls, lots of love right now for them. Can they pull off the upset against Notre Dame in Philadelphia? Also, Clemson right now, one of the top teams in the country. But will there be a potential trap game for them on Saturday? And also, Paul Feinbaum weighs in. Georgia and Florida, a great SEC clash, and a new quarterback potentially for the Bulldogs. All that more coming up at the half. Dave, Mac, back to you guys.
All right, Adnan, thanks. Your buddy, Feinbaum, at halftime. Handoff for the Cardinals. We'll see how aggressive they are. Under 3 minutes to go. They do have all 3 timeouts and a tie game.
It's a dangerous time for Louisville because you've got to try to get the ball on the other end of the field and try to waste the 230.
Yeah.
So you can't be too conservative. You don't want to be punting the ball back with a 150 to a short field.
And Wake did. The penalties were a big part of it, those 2 personal foul penalties. But they started deep in their own territory. Now the sack in the end zone. That's and drops Lamar Jackson. The defense puts points on the board. That's the nightmare for Louisville. 2 points on the safety. It's 12-10.
And you can't have the sack for a safety. And now you got to punt it to him and give Wake the ball back with 2:15 in good field position.
Yeah, that's the double cathud.
And Bobby just said, Coach Petrino said, get rid of the ball. You can't take a sack in the end zone.
And it wasn't like the pressure came right away. He had a little bit of time. Although you can see how maybe he didn't see Ejiofor coming.
Ejiofor is a defensive end and pass rusher from Houston, Texas. They signed him. He was 210. Kind of like when we signed Brian Arakpo, he was 211. And now Brian's been one of the best defensive players in the NFL. So this young guy is now about 275. He's smart. He's tough. He had concussions issues, and they missed him the first 4 weeks. Their defense is better with Okafor rushing the passer.
Yeah, from Houston, Texas. He's the impact player you identified at the start of the game where they could get some pass rush against that true freshman left tackle, Jaron Christian. And he beat Christian badly there for a huge play in this game. Now the free kick. Louisville has to give the ball back. They give up the 2 points. They will use Josh Appleby, their punter, to punt the ball.
And now you've got your kickoff return team with your punt returner on the field for Wake Forest.
Not a great punt either. And they signal fair catch, which I'm not sure why they did that. So there was a chance for some return yards, and Tabari Hines wanted to take it and go, but his fellow freshman Alex Bachman signaled fair catch.
Yeah, Alex has got to get out of the way, and you've got to call him off. You got to scream it. Tabari's got to be loud. Mine, mine, mine. Get out of the way. Move forward. Don't back up, because it's his ball. And they had a chance to get some yardage out of it. So they're telling him, I want the fast guy to catch it. Come on, freshman. And don't talk back to your head coach now. Keep your mouth shut and say, yes, sir.
Yeah, Dave is not hearing it. Well, still decent field position for the Deamon Deacons with the timeout. 2:15 to go. They'll use John Wolford again at quarterback. Now back ahead, 12-10. They hand the ball off on first down. Tyler Bell squirts through to the 40-yard line. Extra pushing at the end of the play. No flags, though. Gain of 6. And Wake is not in full hurry-up mode, but if they want to make something of this drive, they need to use some tempo here.
Wake's got one timeout left. You normally try to get to the 50 before you open it up. You don't want to give the ball back to Louisville. Make some first downs.
Well, making those check calls once they get to the line of scrimmage, that allows more time to tick off, and they'll hand it off again. Trying to break tackles, but nowhere to go. A gain of about a yard. It'll be third down. The clock continues to roll. Very, very conservative from Wake Forest.
And very honestly, if you're Dave Clawson and you're ahead 12-10 at halftime, you're going to be excited. He's saying, let's go. Let's try to get this first down, because he does not want to punt the ball back to Louisville.
Well, it's 3rd and 4. They have not converted a third down in this game. 0 for 8.
And they knew third down would be critical.
The penalty after the last third down gave him a first down on the last drive. They take a shot. He's got a man. And the pass is caught. Hines, what a move. Cut it inside. Touchdown. Tremendous play by Tabari Hines. 58 yards. They had a 78-yarder earlier. Now 58 to make it 18-10.
What a throw by the older quarterback. You've got the inside receiver here. He's on a safety. You got a fast guy on a 6'5", 230 guy with bump coverage. And you're also in a position where Jermaine Reeve, who as a free safety missed the bump play before, just missed another tackle in the middle of the field, which gives Wake points before halftime.
Well, that's his job. He's got to make that tackle there. They use the extra point to go up by 9. What a sequence in the last minute or so. A safety. They give the ball back, Louisville does, and then the big play by Hines.
We were talking about being conservative. Then they throw the ball deep. You're looking at Hines inside. You've got a 6'5", 230-pound guy on the outside. It's bump coverage. The free safety Reeves is trying to go over from the middle. Chapman misjudges it. They step inside of Reeves. Very similar to the first play that they had for the long gain. You can't have the free safety miss the tackle. Slow down Reeves. Make sure that you get him down. Doesn't have to be pretty. Doesn't have to be great. He jumped up and makes a good play. Now you got to get him on the ground. Get it. Slow down. Be patient. You've got to get him on the ground. You cannot allow 2 long plays off bump coverage.
Well, it was a great effort by Tabari Hines, the true freshman from Florence, South Carolina, his 3rd touchdown of his freshman season. But think about the mistakes from Louisville in the last, say, 5 minutes of this half. The penalties that extended a drive helped pin them deep in their own territory. Their young quarterback taking a sack for a safety. Then that missed tackle and the big play with about a minute to go. I mean, those are gigantic mistakes. It was tied 10-10. Now they're down by 9.
And the last 5 minutes of the half are critical for momentum going into halftime.
Up the field, a return to about the 22. That's it with 49 seconds on the clock. Saturday Night Football presented by Walmart on ABC. And tomorrow night, number 9 Notre Dame, maybe the biggest game in Temple football history in Philadelphia against the 21st ranked Owls. 8 Eastern on ABC. Also streaming live on Watch ESPN. I mean, it would be a big upset. Do the Owls have a shot in that game?
I don't think so, but the pressure's on Notre Dame. If I'm the athletic department at Notre Dame, I don't schedule Temple. But they are going to Philadelphia, and they have a national scene to play on. But Temple can be relaxed and play.
Jackson throws over the top. He's got his man out near midfield. That's James Quick. He goes out of bounds. That stops the clock right at midfield, a gain of 28 yards. So that puts Louisville in a position now where I think they can be a little bit more aggressive with 40 seconds to go until halftime.
Yeah, what a throw. Coming back with a positive play right after holding the ball and taking the sack. Forget the negative play and move forward like he did.
Jackson in the pocket, throws short. He's got his man who will get to the sideline, goes out of bounds. That stops the clock again. That's L.J. Scott.
Smart by Scott. Yeah, get upfield, get out of bounds. Stop the clock. Use it as a timeout. Your boundary's your friend. Bobby Petrino's staff has 3 timeouts left, which is like eternity when you're sitting here with 34 seconds left from your 40.
1st and 10 Louisville. Some pressure comes from the defensive back. Jackson will throw right over the defense. Quick again. And again he gets out of bounds inside the 25 to about the 22. That's 18 more yards through the air.
Again, Lamar Jackson sitting here with a blitz from the corner. You've got 25. Watson coming. Jackson felt it. He slides out to the right and makes the perfect throw.
Now the end zone. He's got a man open. Caught. Touchdown. Jamari Staples. Man, was that fast. Louisville goes down the field in 4 plays. The touchdown reception, 22 yards to Staples. His 2nd touchdown catch of the night. And the Cardinals needed that. What a boost for Bobby Petrino's team. After the train wreck 5 minutes where they give up 9 points and fall behind.
It shows you the potential for the Louisville offense. Those receivers are so good and so tall and so fast, and they can score in 10-15 seconds with a long drive.
The whole drive took 27 seconds. They went 78 yards in 27 seconds.
Yes, and we get out.
Plays 20 seconds. First one went for 28 yards. Next one went for 10. Then 18. Then the touchdown for 22. 4 plays, no incompletions, no negative plays. Hardly any time came off the clock.
And you like the fact he just held the ball. He took the safety. The coaches jumped him when he came to the boundary, and he came right back and had his best series of the game. Great players have to forget the bad plays and move on to the next one, and that's exactly what Lamar Jackson did on that series.
So still a 2-point lead. That safety right now is the difference, but Jackson and company with a much needed positive drive in a flash.
Garrett McGee also called a very good series.
Kicked off toward the end zone, and a hesitation by Chuck Wade. Probably does not matter. I'm thinking that Wake is just going to take a knee with 18 seconds to go until halftime.
They are, but with the brilliant drive, you had Wake going in with all the momentum, and now Louisville's going in pumped up to start the 3rd quarter.
P.J. Howard, who is a wide receiver on special teams, hurting.
Momentum is so important for college football teams. And when you get it, you better capture it, and you better keep it and make sure that you're productive with it.
So they're looking at Howard. And we'll take a quick break while they tend to P.J. Howard. We'll be back right after this.
This is our time to soar.
Well, good news. P.J. Howard was able to stand up and walk off the field. Banged up on the kick return. Final 18 seconds of the first half. It has been a wild first half. Big plays on both sides. But a big drive for Lamar Jackson to make it a 2-point game. Wake has scored twice on the big play through the passing game. Otherwise, offense has been tough to come by, but the defense has generally played well. Maybe until that last sequence. And they will take a lead into the locker room. So a much different story now. Louisville uses a timeout. They have all 3 of them. So they're not going to just.
Timeout, Louisville, their first. 30-second timeout. Please reset the game clock to 16 seconds. 1.
I think what you're seeing Coach Petrino do here is he's going to try to use the other 2 timeouts, and if Wake doesn't make a first down, try to block the punt.
Yeah, you give yourself a shot on special teams. It makes sense. You have all 3 timeouts. So you can see why he would do it when you haven't had to burn any of them. But one thing we have noticed, Wake has got an excellent punter, an All-American punter, but he has been gimpy, not fully healthy. Has not been the Alex Kinnell that we normally see, trying to stay loose on what has turned into a chillier night here in Winston-Salem. Temperature has definitely dropped after the sun went down. So we'll see if Louisville uses those timeouts again. It's another handoff, another tackle right around the line of scrimmage, and they do stop the clock and burn that timeout.
Timeout. Louisville, their second.
So there is the second timeout. We were watching the All-American punter Alex Kinnell during pregame warm-ups, and it was obvious to us that he was not. Deamon Deacons haven't talked about it a whole lot. He's such a weapon for them on special teams. But we did notice that Kinnell was hurting in the pregame.
I talked to Jim Grobe yesterday, who did such a great job coaching here, and they found him. He was a Australian rules soccer player, basically a rugby player, and he was 25 years old. He's the best punter in the country, but you can see that he does have a growing issue, and he's a tough young man. He is older, but he is the best punter in the country and should have a great career in the pros. They can't use him like they would like to because he could average 70-something yards, but they can't cover like that right now with their cover teams.
Well, this is not good news for Wake Forest on that last play, an injury that looks a little more serious than at first. So that is not good news for the Deamon Deacons. And apparently the injury is bad enough that we may not be showing a replay. So I think maybe better for all involved if we just leave it at that. But the card is out. You hate to see that final play winding down the first half.
Medical staffs do a great job across the country trying to take care of these young people. Players are obviously concerned.
Yeah, medical staff, coaches out there as well.
Coaches can usually help because they talk to the young man, and he's very comfortable with the coach, so you'll talk to him and say, can you hear me, and are you okay? And the doctor can tell you what to ask him. You see Coach Clausen out there with him.
Now Charles Genzio, who is like a H-back tight end hybrid type player, he's the Wake Forest player who is hurt. And it's serious enough to where this is taking time.
And you could see the trainer patting his hand and trying to comfort the young man that's hurt.
So they will help Charles up onto that cart and get him back in the locker room.
It's always tough for the medical staff and the coaching staff and the parents. If the parents are at home watching, the medical staff will get to them as soon as they possibly can. If they are in and glad that he's up and moving, if the parents are here, they'll get them to the dressing room immediately to visit with the young man. You see the players are trying to go out there and support him. Great scene right there for players supporting each other. That's what team's all about. That's what college sports are all about.
Well, and at least for Charles, for his family, I mean, it's a leg injury and it's a pretty gruesome injury, but he's up and he's talking to the teammates, for appreciating that recognition.
Well, Charles is telling them, let's go play. Hey, play hard, man.
Yeah, that's hurting him. And the Louisville players did the same thing. Didn't come out to the cart, but They were all applauding.
Right in the ankle.
College football players are tough. They love to play. They're passionate. Kids love each other.
Yeah, we'll see. Most stadiums have an X-ray facility. Maybe get an X-ray first, and then who knows after that. It's third down. They have the freshman Hinton in. He carries for a short gain. Stopped right around the original line of scrimmage. Louisville uses another timeout.
Louisville, their second 30-second timeout.
Very good coaching by Bobby Petrino to have saved those 3 timeouts. You want to save them all anyway, but he's got them in his pocket, and now he's got an opportunity to block a punt, or he's got an opportunity to return a punt here with 9 seconds.
Yeah, you don't take it for granted. You have those timeouts. I mean, I don't mind it. The chances aren't great that you come up with a block, but who would have thought the chances were great for any of those plays we saw in the last, just a crazy last 5 minutes of this half, with penalties, with the safety, with the long touchdown, the answer drive by Louisville.
Who thought the odds were great for Michigan State with 8 seconds left?
You're right
against
about that.
Michigan to win a game?
I mean,
as a coach, you've got to think you've got a chance, and you've got to sell that to your team every play.
You are right, and we've seen it's not just been that play. There have been lots of examples in college football of special teams mishaps that have been monumental plays. So Wake's just got to get this one off. Final 8 seconds of the half.
It's one step and get it going.
And he did. It's a low bouncing punt. It will be returned here, coming back across the field, going backwards, wrong way. And the hit will end the half. So that's how the first half comes to a conclusion. Louisville will get the ball. And now before, there were a couple different penalty flags. We were getting ready to send it to studio. The teams were headed to the locker rooms, and we got penalty flags. So let's see. They're telling the players, well, now they've told Louisville just to go to the locker room. David Epperly.
After the play was over, there were 2 fouls, unsportsmanlike conduct on Louisville, number 11. That is his first. Unsportsmanlike conduct on Wake Forest, number 38. That is his first. Those penalties will offset halftime.
The punter gets a personal foul penalty. Oh, it is now halftime. We'll have an interview with Wake Forest head coach Dave Clawson during halftime. First, it's to ESPN College Football Primetime presented by Jimmy John's. Beautiful fall night in Winston-Salem, and we got a ball game in the ACC. Wake Forest underdogs at home, but a 19-17 halftime lead. Dave Fleming, Mac Brown, Allison Williams back with you. I mean, we were sort of plugging along. Coach, it was 10-10. There have been a few big plays, but a mostly normal game. And then the last few minutes of the second quarter were just insane.
It's called college football. About the time you think you know what's going on, it goes crazy. So Lamar Jackson gets out of the pocket. They drop 9, rush 2. He makes a good play. Then Ejiofor, gets the sack for the safety. Then you come back with Williford to Hines. He's in bump coverage. Reeves overrun. He beats Chapman. And then at the end of the half, great throw from Jackson to Jamari Staples for the touchdown. Whole bunch of exciting plays right at the end of the half.
Safety, touchdown answer for Louisville. And the Cardinals and Bobby Petrino do get the ball to start the second half. Coming in with some momentum, trying to get their season back to 500 overall. They were 0-3 at the start of the year against a tough schedule. They feel like they're in position to really make a nice run at the end of the year. But this game not as easy as maybe some would have thought. 14 rush yards total for Louisville. I mean, that stands out. Wake Forest defense, I know the passing game hurt them a little bit, but they stood up pretty well.
And we just heard Coach Petrino tell Allison that we've got to start running the ball better. Doesn't matter who it is. Our quarterback's our leading rusher, but it does not matter who gets the rushing yards. When Bobby Petrino's teams have run the ball for more than 200 yards, they're 32-3. And he knows, sitting here with 14 yards, he does not want this game to be close in the fourth quarter. Got to get a stretch of plays here as we start the third quarter and try to get back on top and stretch this lead.
So the kickoff into the end zone, and that will be a touchback. So Louisville will get the ball first here in the second half. Just a few moments ago, Mac referenced it. Allison Williams talked to Bobby Petrino. Allison?
Yes, and just like Max said, they really need to get a running game established however they can. He also said when they're having success offensively, it's because they're doing a good job blocking at the line of scrimmage. Otherwise, they're giving up those sacks. He also said his quarterback, Lamar Jackson, has taken off sometimes and ran when there's stuff open downfield. So he wants to see him do a better job in the second half of sitting in the pocket, keeping his vision, and looking downfield to make the throw.
And I can see Coach Petrino's point. I also think, Mac, that we saw the good of Lamar Jackson. I mean, this kid, true freshman, has a ton of natural ability. In the pocket here, he will throw short. Staples with a nice catch, tackled in the open field. They're going to spot him across the 30-yard line for a gain of 5 or so.
Very important drive for the Louisville offense. You score right before the half. You get a 3-and-out. You try to block a punt. And now if you can come back and score, it's a 14-point swing.
2nd and 4. Jackson throws over the top, trying to find Staples again. Knocked down. Brad Watson with good coverage.
Very impressed with Brad Watson, the boundary corner. He's doing a great job tonight of covering.
And it's not easy against Staples, against Quick. Louisville's got 2 of the better wide receivers in the ACC. You could maybe say one of the better tandems in the country.
Yeah, Brad's a tall guy with long arms. He's 6'1", but he's covering guys that are 6'4", and really fast.
Tight end in motion on 3rd and 4. Jackson looking to run. He's dropped. Now that will not be a sack. He got back to the line of scrimmage, but the tackle by Brown brings up 4th down.
Well, what a play by Thomas Brown. This is what he has to do. Thomas is hanging around as a safety, and Lamar Jackson starts to run up inside where they wanted him to be contained. He only has to make 4 yards for the first down, but that's a huge stop to start the second half.
And they did just, it's a technicality, but they spotted him back about a half a yard, so they will credit Wake Forest with a sack there. That's a booming punt. Taken at about the 20 with a block. Upfield 30 and around the 35. It looked like the turf tripped up Tavari Hines, who had the spectacular touchdown catch in the first half. 50-yard punt, 15-yard return.
Dave, when a guy would fall like that, we used to say that paint must be really thick. He tripped over the line. But a good return.
Yeah, Kendall Hinton will be the quarterback for the first series of this second half. Not Wolford. So go with the true freshman on 1st and 10.
Check with me.
Hinton only attempted 6 passes in the first half. He hands the ball off to Tyler Bell on 1st down, gain of a couple.
And that's a good 1st down call. Dave Clawson told us they want to make 3+ yards on 1st down. They're trying to keep the pass rush from Louisville for getting to their quarterback, so they're using a lot of play action, but they're trying to stay balanced on offense with some runs. Once again, check to the sideline. Get the play call. Now you see Louisville moving around and changing the defense.
Yeah, they get to the line so fast. They have plenty of time on the play clock to make those calls. Play fake. That pass with 2 receivers right in the neighborhood is incomplete. Serenay, the tight end, got his hands on it. Cortez Lewis was right behind him.
Wake Forest front 5 is doing a better job of protecting, and they're giving their quarterbacks more time.
That's a good point you make. Early in the game, it was just the pass rush was hardly even interrupted at all. I mean, there was hardly a block put, and lately there has been more time. 1 for 10 on 3rd downs in the first half. Here comes some pressure. Hinton rolling, throws, dangerous pass, and it's intercepted. Intercepted by Louisville. Not a great decision by the freshman, and that pass picked off by D. Smith. First turnover for Wake Forest.
Yeah, a mistake by the freshman quarterback. Good pressure. It's good pressure from the Louisville defense. They came after it. They forced him out of the pocket. They have him looking downfield. You've got to throw this ball away. Big turnover for Louisville. Headed the other way.
It's
Dave Fleming, Mac Brown, Allison Williams back here at Wake Forest, where the Deamon Deacons have a 19-17 lead early in the third quarter. We are very happy to have the commissioner of the ACC, John Swafford, with us here in the broadcast booth, taking in the game. We got a good ACC game tonight, don't we?
Dave, we really do. It's gone from a defensive struggle in the first quarter to a lot of offensive fireworks in the second. Entertaining game.
Well, John, who has been the longtime commissioner, very successfully so in this ACC, has watched this conference grow. Bonifant with the carry on first down for Louisville. But not only that, my partner, you and he go way. You hired Mac at North Carolina when you were the athletic director there. So you two have a lot of history together.
And I'm very proud of the fact that I had the opportunity to hire Mac. He did an unbelievable job in Chapel Hill, and we had some great years together.
We did. He didn't admit it the first 2 years. It was in the third year that he finally stood up and said, I did it.
You know, rebuilding jobs take a couple of years.
Yes, they do.
And then that selection committee grew tremendously by the time you had left.
Yes.
Well, there could be a message there for athletic directors, a little patience when you have that. I don't want to pick a scab, but what were you, 2-20 your first 2 years in North Carolina?
You're not picking a scab. It's been pretty talked about, pretty much public and talked about. This is one of the real good guys in the business. I came to him and said, let me out. Let me quit. I'm dying. He said, I like you too much. I'm not letting you out. You got to stay. But John promised me 5 years. He gave us 5 years. We turned it in the third year. And rest is history. We ended up fourth in the country and had a great time.
Well, we did. We enjoyed it, and you won a lot of games, and I appreciate that tremendously.
And this conference has changed so much in the last few years. That's a penalty against Louisville, so it's third and much longer here. And Louisville is sort of a good example of that, how the Cardinals have fit into your conference, particularly in football and basketball, and it feels like a real good fit with the ACC.
Well, I think it is, Dave, and we've gone from 9 to 12 members and now to 15 with Notre Dame in all sports and the five football game scheduling arrangement. It's worked out tremendously well for us.
Pressure comes. Jackson can't get away. And he got close, and maybe a decision for Bobby Petrino and Louisville. You happy with the Notre Dame arrangement with the conference?
Well, I am. I think it's been a win-win all the way around, but for Notre Dame and for the ACC. I think we're both better for it, and so we feel very good about it.
And everybody was trying to get Notre Dame, so John did an amazing job of putting this conference together with all the realignment. Now got one of the strongest conferences in football and basketball in the country.
Louisville decides to punt here on 4th and 3 from just across midfield. So they're going to give the ball back to Wake Forest. And no fair catch signal. That one's going to be down at about the 1. Wow. Great coverage, great execution by the special teams. Appleby put it right on the spot. And that is bad news for the Wake Forest offense. They'll start at about the 1-yard line. Just a couple more minutes with John Swafford, the commissioner in the ACC. Football season, give us your assessment on conference-wide how it's gone so far.
Well, I think it's gone well, Dave. And, obviously we have several teams that are in the national championship picture, and we'll, again, have a lot of bowl teams, which we're used to having. I like the divisions as we head into the second half of the season, because we've got a race in both divisions. With North Carolina and Duke and Pitt, particularly on the coastal side, and in the Atlantic, of course, Clemson and Florida State. So it's going to be really interesting in our league over the last half of the season.
Well, tough territory here for Wake Forest. And their young freshman quarterback, the handoff, and trying to get across the goal line just barely. Out across, Louisville calling for the safety. It was not. Matt Colburn did get outside the end zone, but it was pretty close.
It's hard to pull, guys, when you're in that end zone, because there's a lot of penetration.
And it was close. Well, Clemson's got a big game, John, tomorrow on the road at NC State, undefeated, moved to number 3 in the country. Florida State, you still feel like the Seminoles have a a place in that national championship conversation?
Well, I think they could when it's all said and done. You know, we all have trouble.
Deep pass, and it is incomplete, but a penalty flag thrown. Now there's also a flag back down at the original line of scrimmage, so we have two different penalties on this play intended for KJ Brent, and the officials are going to have to sort this one out.
And if it is holding in the end zone, it's a safety.
You're right. Good
point.
So
this is pretty critical when you get backed up in that end zone.
David Epperly is our referee tonight.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Offsides, defense, pass interference. On the offense, number 80. Those penalties offset. Second down.
Wow, so offensive pass interference, and that means offsetting replay second down from about the half-yard line. We're talking with John about the state of the ACC. North Carolina, the Tar Heels last night, very impressive on the road. I mean, that's a quiet 4-0, 7-1 overall team.
Well, it is. I think after that first game in Charlotte against South Carolina, some people sort of forgot about North Carolina, and obviously they've gotten better every week as the season has progressed.
Into double coverage, incomplete. Hinton was close to that back line of the end zone, but got rid of it. It'll be 3rd and 10. So Carolina's become a big story in the ACC. Clemson, obviously Florida State. Duke continues to play really good football with David Cutcliffe.
They do. David's done a tremendous job at Duke. I think that everybody in the nation that follows college football understands that. And Pitt's been you know, Pat Narduzzi's done a great job in his first year at Pitt.
Good point. He's a really good coach and has made an impact on that program right away. So 3rd and 10 from a dangerous spot. Hinton on the move. He's going to throw, and he's got his man caught. First down. That's KJ Brent. What a big play that is for Wake Forest.
Very big play. KJ Brent's a graduate transfer from South Carolina, and Steve Spurrier wanted him to stay. He thought he would be a really good player, but outstanding play by the young quarterback, getting out of the pocket in his own end zone with a perfect throw outside. I laughed at John the other day. He's got an impossible job because Georgia Tech beats Florida State on the last play of the game, and he's got to be happy for Georgia Tech and sad for Florida State, so he can't win because he loses 50% of the games every weekend, and he wins 50%. So he just got to keep his mouth shut and hope it all works out.
Is that true?
Well, we've got great schools and great programs, and very proud of our 14 football programs in the ACC and the men who run those programs. And we've had a great couple of years for our league from a football standpoint. So I think we've got a great present and a great future ahead of us.
John, you have any thoughts on the situation in Miami?
Well, obviously there's a transition coming there, and there's so much history and tradition in that program competitively, and obviously it has a world of potential going forward. So there's a tremendous opportunity for someone there.
And Dave, we've had 3 really good ACC games this year. We're up at Boston College with Florida State. We were at Virginia Tech, and they handled the weather situation so well there with NC State coming in, and now have an outstanding game tonight. So it's been fun for us to cover the ACC.
It has been.
Well, it's really competitive, and that's the way you want it. You want it brutally competitive. If you're sitting in my chair, if you're in the coach's chair,
yeah,
maybe not so
yours
much.
Not to be so competitive.
But our schools have done a great job with their commitment to football, and with the additions and the growth of our league. I think our potential is unlimited going forward.
After the sack, it's 3rd and 15, and Wake is going to keep the ball on the ground. They've bought themselves a little breathing room. Not going down quietly. Their tailback and still going. Tyler Bell, pretty tough running there. He will come up still short of the first down, but a nice tough guy play for Tyler Bell, which means a punt will be coming. Good effort from the true freshman.
Hits the hole. He shows his patience. But again, the offensive linemen at Wake are moving their feet and moving the pile, and he gets a lot of credit, but you don't get much yardage as a running back unless those big guys are moving their feet up front. And Commissioner, we're getting ready to start basketball too. So football season's great, but you've got one of the best basketball groups of schools now in the country. And when I was at Carolina, everybody was talking about basketball in the ACC, but now You have made it where everybody's talking about all sports in the ACC, and what a great credit to you.
Well, our schools are really committed to total programs, and we've got a great history and tradition in basketball, Mac, as you mentioned. And it's a great time of year in college athletics, I think, because we're in that overlap period where we'll have a lot of great football going on across the nation, and the beginnings of basketball season as well. Keeps everybody really busy, including you guys. But it's a special time of year in college athletics, I think.
We are busy, but we're happy to be so. We love visiting with you. Thanks for coming up to the booth and being with us. Continued success in the ACC. The football season's been fun. Hoops is getting going, so we always appreciate the time.
Dave, great to be with you, and Mac, always tremendous to be with you. Take good care of this guy. He's one of the best ever.
He's doing a great job. He is. We love having him on our ESPN team. We miss him on the sidelines. But I think he fits pretty well up here in the booth, don't you?
He's as good at this as he was at coaching, and that's saying a lot.
Well, thank you, guys. I said giving opinions is a lot easier than making decisions down there where those guys are with 6:45 left in a tight game.
Commissioner Swafford, thanks for being with us. Good luck rest of the football season. We'll come back. 6:45 to go in the third quarter. Wake Forest with the 2-point lead.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Lexus and their pursuit of perfection. And Chick-fil-A, we didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich.
Well, back here in Winston-Salem, it is ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Jimmy John's. Dave Fleming, Mac Brown, Allison Williams with you from BB&T Field. A cool night, 53 degrees. It feels colder than that. On this late October evening, Wake Forest competitive with Louisville, up to 19-17, 6:41 to go. Jackson taking a shot downfield. His receiver, Staples, got all kinds of turned around, and the pass falls incomplete. It's 2nd and 10. Well, we enjoyed having John Swafford, the ACC commissioner, who has really, truly done a great job with this league. It has been an eventful couple of weeks for the ACC. Al Golden fired after the worst loss in school history to Clemson, number 3 ranked team in the country. Florida State saw their conference win streak end, and now they're without Dalvin Cook in Syracuse this week. And the big game last night where North Carolina stays undefeated in the ACC, 7-1 overall. Jackson pushed out of bounds after a gain of a few yards.
Well, that's where Lamar Jackson can save you. Nothing there. Takes off, runs, gets him 3 yards, and now you're 3.5. You're still ahead of the chains and ready to go. It's a tough time in college football right now. There's more pressure on coaches than ever before, and you don't have your punt returner here for Louisville tonight, and the new guy fumbles a punt. Your quarterback gets hurt. You get a field goal block the last play of the game through Florida State, and Georgia Tech runs it back.
Pressure comes. Jackson buys some time, throws a delivery. Staples right at the mark, and it'll depend on the spot. I think they're going to get the first down here right around our yellow line, right near the stick. So they take a look and say first down.
Now, Dave, that's the play right there that Colt McCoy and Vince Young made for us. Protection breaks down. They're bumping you outside. It's man-to-man coverage. Nobody's open. And he sprints to the right, and Staples keeps his shoulders square, knows where he is on the boundary, and it's an easy throw from Lamar Jackson to Staples.
Staples up over 100 yards receiving now. Jackson trying to get away from Chubb, just couldn't do it. Chubb tosses him out of bounds. And we'll see if Jackson can get up. He was thrown to the ground there with the yard of scrimmage post there, and his teammates. Jackson's getting up real slow. He's hurting.
Tuck the ball away, Lamar, when you get close to that boundary, and I thought it was a legal play. Brandon Chubb just took him and slung him down.
So now Reggie Bonifan has the quarterback. He'll deliver, incomplete, with a flag thrown from behind. Markel Lee with the coverage, intended for Tobridge, the tight end, as they take a look at Lamar Jackson hurt on the bench.
Pass interference. Defense, number 8. Ball would be placed at spot of the foul, first down.
And this is where, if you're at Louisville, the coaches have done a good job getting Reggie Bonifant ready to play because he's been in the ball game, but they've kept him alive as a second-team quarterback. And he has the complete playbook. He has confidence. He wants to still be a quarterback, but he wants to play in the game at other places. So Reggie is experienced at this position.
Yeah, he's got a pass completion tonight. He's got a rush, a couple of rushes. He's got a reception. Now, though, a penalty again against Louisville.
Number 72, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Quick check in the studio with Adnan.
All right, Dave, thank you very much. Just want to keep you up to date on what's happening right now with regards to UConn Huskies taking on East Carolina. This is in the second quarter. That's Arkeel Newsom. 90 yards, third quarter, beg your pardon. Tied for the third longest run in school history. How about them Huskies? 24-6. It's on ESPNU. Dave, back to you.
All right, Adnan, thanks. How about the Huskies? UConn, I mean, that would be a major win for Bob Diaco. Handoff with a flag thrown right in the area of holding on 1st and long. A pretty positive gain for Jeremy Smith, but I think this one is coming back. Penalties have been a big factor tonight and mostly negative factor for Louisville. They're taping up Lamar Jackson's left ankle.
Shot block on the offense. Number 68 and number 74. 15-yard penalty, first down.
David goes back to inexperienced offensive linemen. We've talked about it a lot tonight. Coach Petrino talked with us yesterday about it. You've got 10 guys that are rotating. It's hard to really get comfortable with each other, and a chop block just simply means that one got too high, and simultaneously, while they were connected, one went too low, and it's a dangerous block for the defensive lineman.
Yeah, it's a 15-yard penalty, so it hurts even more than just a 10-yard holding call. It's 1st and 30 for Louisville with Bonifant still in at quarterback. Chased out of the pocket on the run. Bonifant can move. Takes a big hit at about the 35. Now he's a little slow to get up. Chubb and Banks both were there. You could see it, you could feel it, and I think you can hear it.
Ouch. That's redshirt senior Brandon Chubb and redshirt junior Josh Banks, two really good football players that are showing up all over the place tonight. They're playing at a high level.
I mean, Wake Forest, we're 4 minutes to go in the third quarter, and Wake still leads. The safety near the end of the first half. Sack in the end zone is still the difference in this game. That throw behind the intended target and out of bounds. Trying to get it to the running back Smith, incomplete.
Now you've got 3rd and forever, so you're going to be smart. You're probably going to go screen, draw, quarterback draw. But all you're trying to do here, unless you just take a deep shot and try to get a penalty for the first down on pass interference, you're going to try to keep the right to punt. Try to change field position.
Mac, this is the 8th time in this game Louisville has had a third down of 9 yards or more. This is much more 3rd and 26. Those 3rd and longs.
Yeah, and the coaches knew that from last week. They knew they had to stay ahead of the chains.
Bonifant, nowhere to go with the ball. Bonifant runs, and he's out of bounds. So they do keep the right, as you said it, to kick it away, but they will be kicking it away. Again, Josh Banks in pursuit.
Yeah, the older guys are stepping up and taking over, and what the defensive coaches and Coach Clawson wanted at Wake Forest is have a chance to take this into the fourth quarter as a game. When they've done that, they've had a chance to win. They didn't get blown out early. They've hung in there, and we have us a football game with under 3:50 left in the third.
Hines back to receive. He's made some big plays tonight for Wake Forest. Appleby punting. A high, no, not even that high, shorter kick that bounces in Louisville's favor all the way inside the 20. Still rolling on that turf and down near the 12-yard line. That worked out well for the Cardinals. Wake's offense back on the field when we come back, leading by 2. Big city, Philadelphia, right outside Independence Hall. Number 9 Notre Dame, number 21 Temple in Philly later that evening. But game day starts at 9 Eastern on ESPN with lots to talk about. The underdog story, Temple trying to pull off a big upset, and lots more across the college football landscape. This would be an underdog kind of upset if Wake could somehow pull this off. They're up by 2, 3:29 to go, third quarter. Wolford, the quarterback, he's going to take a shot down the middle. Tipped up, intercepted. Intercepted. Chucky Williams bringing it back inside the 25, tripped up at about the 22-yard line. The pass was too high. Williams was right there. Second turnover of the half for Wake Forest.
Very good play by Chucky Williams. The protection is good. Wolford's got time to throw. The throw's just a little high and behind. Chuck Wade couldn't quite get his hands on it. It's tipped. And Chucky Williams is in outstanding position. Goes up for the ball. And now you're in a position at the 22 going in for Louisville with a chance to score.
And it is the freshman Lamar Jackson who missed the last few plays of that last drive after taking the hit along the sideline. Jackson is back in the game for the Cardinals. He hands the ball off. Inside the 20, still going, still going. L.J. Scott, tough run. And he gets 5 yards or so on first down.
Good first down play. Louisville's had some problems with penalties in this area. They need to go get 7 points right now and take the lead in this ball game as we end the third quarter.
Well, that is a good point because Louisville was so focused on that last week. We had chance after chance after chance in scoring position, kept making huge mistakes. That's another negative play. Jackson dropped back behind the line of scrimmage by Tyler Harris, the senior defensive tackle.
Yeah, Tyler Harris is a big, strong, quick guy that's been in his program for a long time. He read the zone read very well. He's kept his shoulders square, and he makes an outstanding tackle for a loss. And penalties and tackles for loss, sacks of what I've heard him here, Dave.
Yeah.
So you don't want to get out of field position. You don't want to turn it over. Don't get out of field position. Be smart here with the ball.
They're going to hand it off. Very conservative play call on 3rd and long. So that does give you the idea. They just want to make sure they get 3. Duke Ejiofor there to make the tackle.
Well, with a freshman quarterback, it's still a smart thing, and you can see head coach and offensive coordinator discussing it a little bit. If that one squirts for 15 and a first down, we're all saying what a brilliant call. The play caller has got a freshman quarterback in there, and now with this kick, he should take the lead.
Yeah, and sometimes you wonder whether they have any. Is Jackson 100%? Can he do all the things he needs to do? 39-yard try for John Wallace. Kick is on the way, and it is good. The turnover, the interception, gives Louisville good field position. They turn it into 3 points, and the Cardinals have a 20-19 lead after that field goal attempt. So the quarterback injuries, a big part of the story now for Louisville. Allison, you got anything on Jackson and Bonifant?
Well, I'm keeping an eye on Reggie Bonifant. His coaches asked him if he was okay, and then he was brought to a different area of the sideline by his athletic trainers. He didn't receive any treatment per se, but he did talk to them for a bit, and he's kind of been standing on the sidelines with them, hands on his hips. No official word yet, but I'll keep trying and let you guys know what I can find out.
Well, Bonifant did take a hard hit after he had to come in when Jackson was out. That was the hit in question. He stayed in for a couple more plays, but we may not see him again. To me, the other question is Lamar Jackson. He came back in the game. That's good news, but how compromised is he?
And you also see right now Reggie does not have his helmet. So if there is a question and they don't want him to run back out on the field by himself, the trainer always takes the helmet away. And if you're playing and you're active, you're going to have your hand on that helmet.
So that could be a clue that we're not going to see Reggie again in this game.
Yeah.
But Louisville with the field goal after the interception, leading for the first time in this game, 20-19. Kickoff return out to the 20 and no farther than that. Saturday afternoon, that's tomorrow afternoon, college football presented by Kay Jewelers and 5 Hour Energy. A couple of interesting conference games in the ACC. Clemson still undefeated, up to number 3 in the country, on the road at what could be a tough NC State team. Also at 3:30, Maryland in the Big Ten. In Iowa City, the Hawkeyes, 10th ranked team. They are undefeated. They've been impressive. Those games on ABC or ESPN2. Iowa kind of lurking. The schedule is pretty favorable in terms of missing in the opposite division in the Big Ten. Some of those power programs. They got a chance to have a very special year. Wolford hands the ball off straight ahead, and a nice gain up the middle for Matt Colburn. Deamon Deacons have to get their offense going. They've had some big plays in the past game, but in this half, 2 interceptions and a punt. And they've run a total of 10 plays.
And with the turnover and then Louisville getting 3 points and taking the lead, they need to respond now and at least get the ball on the other end of the field.
Final minute of the third quarter in Winston-Salem. Wolford, that swing pass right over the head of Tyler Bell, incomplete. That's one of those tight passes where you're in that dangerous territory. He threw it forward, but it's close to a lateral or a backwards pass. 3rd and 6.
One of those guys is live and 2 of them are faking us. And they change it by the quarter.
Well, they're selling it pretty well. The Pretenders. 2 for 13 on 3rd down. Now movement for the Deamon Deacons.
False start. Offense. Number 75. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
And Dave, that happens when Big Justin is sitting there worried about the pass rush. And you're 3rd and 6. And he has to get a little head start because those guys are so quick at Louisville coming off the ball.
Yeah, and the mistakes are starting to pile up for Wake Forest. Louisville had made, I think, the more egregious mistakes in the first half. But now the 2 interceptions, some penalties for the Deamon Deacons. 3rd and 11. Wolford, play fake. Pocket immediately breaks down, so Wolford takes off. Wolford diving forward, takes a pop. And he got the first down. Wow. That's a tough guy play from the 6'1" sophomore quarterback.
That's why they like John Wolford. He will give up his body for that first down on a critical drive. Still pretty good protection by the big Wake Forest front. Watch him go straight for the first down. He knew what he had to get. He lowers his head, and a huge play for the Wake Forest offense to stay on the field, give their defense a chance to rest. And now you've ended the third quarter on a positive play with better field position.
And Dave Clawson, the head coach, happy to have the third quarter come to an end. Well, he told us that was the goal. Let's make this a game in the fourth quarter. I think we can pull it off if we get there. They've gotten there. On to quarter number 4. Wake Forest down by 1. Day turns into night. Third quarter, 3-0 Louisville. So after the wild sequence at the end of the second quarter, right before halftime, the game has bogged down a little bit, and yet we're seeing some big plays by both defenses. We saw a big conversion by Wake Forest on the final play of the third quarter to get a first down. So 1st and 10, Deamon Deacons. The handoff straight ahead. There just has not been much room on the traditional ground game, really on either side.
It's a really good play by Keith Kelsey, who's had kind of a quiet night, stepping up as a captain and senior linebacker and stopping them for very little gain on the dive.
They have more total yards if you put the two teams together in the final 2 minutes of that second quarter, first half, than we had in the entire third quarter. And plays like the one you just highlighted been the difference for these defenses. Wolford steps up. He hits his tight end for a first down and a big gain. Still going. Cam Serenay inside the 40 down to the 35. You can see the pass catching talent from the sophomore tight end.
The coaches told us they would try to lock the tight end 85 Serenay on linebackers and safeties, and they locked him up on Keith Kelsey for a big play.
That quick hitter out to the left side, and a nice move upfield inside the 30, inside the 25. Chuck Wade for a Wake Forest first down. 2 plays through the air, and here come the Deamon Deacons.
Wake Forest has a tendency, when they get an explosive play, they'll come right back and have a quick snap to try to get another advantage before Louisville can line up.
Now there's Cardinals player, defensive player down on the sideline on the Wake Forest side of the field. I think that's D. Smith, number 11. Really nice move by Wade, and we'll see if we can see where Smith came. I guess that was Smith. Yeah. That left shoulder, upper arm area, something like that.
A very good move by Wade. You've got Chucky Williams, really good safety for Louisville that just overruns him. You got to stay inside out on your tackle.
So the freshman trying to get up, and he'll have to go all the way across the field back to his sideline. While we have just a quick moment, check in with studio once again and Adnan.
All right, Dave, thank you very much. An update for you on what's happening with Louisiana Tech and Rice. This is Kenneth Dixon. 64 career rushing touchdowns now, 2 tonight. That's tied for 5th in FBS history, 28-7 right now at the half. And speaking of running backs, Brian Hill, over 1,000 rushing yards. He's the fastest to 1,000 rushing yards in school history, 4th in the FBS in rushing. He in Wyoming facing Utah State. That's coming up next, right here on ESPN2. Dave?
All right, Adnan, thanks. He is a good player, Brian Hill, for Wyoming. A Wyoming program that has struggled. Utah State, we saw them early in the year, Mac, on the road at Utah, where they gave the Utes all they could handle. Nearly pulled off the upset against one of their in-state rivals. 1st and 10, Wake Forest. Handoff. Maybe a couple yards for Matt Colburn.
2 first downs in a row for Wake Forest. They got to get their momentum back. They got to try to have a long drive here and at least get 3 points to take the lead.
Well, they've moved the ball down the field. They're in position to get points. Down by 1 into the 4th quarter. John Wolford, a sophomore quarterback who has looked mostly healthy in this game. That was a big question coming in.
Runner pass, check from the boundary. Louisville's people are moving around.
Wolford's going to pass. Tipped up, intercepted again on the tip ball. This time Tremaine Washington. A flag down, and I think as a part of the return. That's the 3rd interception for the Louisville secondary in the second half. Serenay, the intended target. The ball got tipped up and just hung in the air for Washington to snag it. So they were in scoring position, but they're not going to get points.
After the interception, blocking the back on the return team, number 25, half the distance to the goal, 1st down Louisville.
So the penalty on the return on the illegal block, but the interception for Washington. Louisville comes up with their 3rd turnover of the second half. This ball hawking secondary. The Cardinals will have the ball back up by 1 when we return. ACC game tonight in Wake Forest, 20-19 Louisville with the lead. Nice look last night at the Reynolds Library. I would imagine on Friday night it's even quieter in there tonight. Well, when we're done over on ESPN with the NBA doubleheader, keep it locked in for SportsCenter at night. Scott Van Pelt will recap Game 3, Royals Mets. Also highlights from that very busy night in the NBA. SportsCenter at night right after Warriors Rockets over on ESPN. Under center, and it's Kyle Bolin, the 3rd quarterback now we've seen in this game for Louisville. So the injury problems at quarterback, but a nice run up the middle, outside the 20, outside the 25 to the 30 for Jeremy Smith, who's been their most effective runner tonight.
And Dave, those are 2 killer plays for Wake Forest. The interception where you need to come away with points, and now you come up and hand the ball off on an isolation play. He gets into the secondary. The Wake Forest guys are missing tackles, and the explosives like this one are what have hurt them over the last 2 weeks.
Yeah,
really good run by Jeremy Smith.
Wake Forest player down. That's Zach Dansell, the safety, so he'll walk off the field. So we got the 3rd quarterback in. Allison, you got any info on Bonifant and Jackson?
Yeah, I did get official word on Bonifant. He will not return. They're calling it an upper extremity injury, and they're keeping him out for precautionary reasons. I was told Jackson is okay, but he is here on the sideline still with his helmet in hand, so we'll have to keep an eye on him.
Well, one thing that Louisville has, they have depth at quarterback, maybe beyond any program in the country. Kyle Bolin, sophomore, has got a lot of experience, started the Clemson game already this year. And he will hand it off once again. And Jeremy Smith straight ahead. A little tougher this time, but he gets 4, almost 5 yards.
And if you're Louisville, you're trying to change field position. You want to get the running game going, like Bobby Petrino said. And you usually do that in the fourth quarter when the defense is a little bit tired and you start pounding. So we're sitting here after 2 runs now. We're 2nd down and 5.
You see those 2 quarterbacks who we've seen take snaps for Louisville on the sideline. Now Kyle Bolin doesn't have a ton of plays run this year at quarterback. Does have that 1 start. Kid from Lexington, Kentucky. Nice delivery for a 1st down and more along the left sideline. Jamari Staples has been a big play man for Louisville all game long. There's the safety, Dan Sell. Looks like he's going back to the locker room.
It was a very good throw. Jamari Staples matched up with Deontay Austin, the slight freshman, and that's a pretty big mismatch out there when you got Jabari at 6'4". Louisville's getting done exactly what they want to on this drive.
So the interception when Wake Forest looked like they were going in to score to take the lead. It's still 20-19. 11 minutes to go. And now the Cardinals have moved it into Wake Forest territory. But before a penalty, a timeout.
Timeout. Louisville, their first.
And Wake Forest was going to bring a blitz there.
Media timeout.
I think the play clock was winding down too. We'll take a timeout ourselves. 10:55 to go. Cardinals lead by 1.
ESPN College Football is presented by Jimmy John's Freaky Fast Sandwiches.
Well, some trick-or-treating during halftime with the Wake Forest cheer squad leading the way. Kids here, lots of them in costume tonight. On the night before Halloween, Wake Forest down by 1. Louisville with the ball on the move. Trying to get back to 500 overall on the year after their 0-3 start. Out of the timeout, 1st down. They hand the ball off. And much less room this time for Jeremy Smith. The sophomore knocked backwards. Zeke Rodney led the way for the Wake Forest defense.
And Wake Forest needs to hold them, but they also don't need to give them a field goal, because that means that it's a 4-point game. And then you're in a position where a field goal can't tie it or win it for you. So this is a big couple of series here for the Wake Forest defense led by Brandon Chubb.
Well, the Deamon Deacons, they have come up with some big plays on offense tonight, but they're not a team equipped to play from behind. They haven't scored in the 2nd half. Bolin throws, got his pass complete along the sideline. Staples again, shoved out of bounds at about the 34. Huge night for Jamari Staples. 10 catches, 133 yards, and a couple of touchdowns. Another 1st down there.
Yeah, some easy throws for Kyle Bolin. He's showing a lot of composure coming off the bench. These 2 guys are pulling for him. We even saw Lamar Jackson go out and try to high-five the offensive lineman. But they've got a good mix of plays on this drive. They're running the ball well.
Staples had a career best game last week. He's bettered that here tonight. So 2 weeks in a row.
Looks like Wake Forest may bring a blitz. Now they're checking out.
1st and 10. They'll check down to that running back Smith out of the backfield. Cut it inside to get an extra yard or 2. A nice gain on 1st down for Louisville. The Cardinals, after their 0-3 start with a brutally tough schedule early and a disappointing start for a team with a lot of expectation, a chance to get over 500 in league. Dave Fleming, Mac Brown, Allison Williams. Wake Forest has played much better here tonight at home than they did last week when NC State came in and really just took it to them. So there's been progress for this Wake football program. This would be a monumental win for them, though, if they could figure out a way to get it. Just trying to build some momentum against a good team. Smith right to the 1st down mark. Chubb with the tackle, but I think he got it. And he did.
Defensive coordinator Todd Grantham told us yesterday they dug themselves in a deep hole at 0-3. They were handling a tremendous amount of criticism. And he told them, just don't pay any attention and dig your way back out. And that's what they're trying to do. Tonight, they could get their 4th win.
I think those big guys up front starting to have a little more fun pushing the line of scrimmage backwards. Has not been a great night for the beleaguered Louisville offensive line. Another first down. Bolin in the shotgun. Hand off. Smith down to the 20. Got 3 yards on 1st and 10.
Another point Bobby Petrino made to us is they've outscored people 42-3 in the first quarter, but the big offensive linemen, when they get a little bit tired, they've lost their focus in the 3rd and 4th quarter. So he's got to be proud of them right now as they're pounding the line of scrimmage and moving the ball.
Yeah, it does not seem to be happening here tonight.
And they're really slowing down now, Dave. They're huddling up. They're taking their time. It's 7:43 and the clock is becoming a factor.
Bolin under center. Hand off. Smith left side. Nice cut. Smith to the 10 and tackled inside the 10. It'll be 1st and goal Louisville.
Outside zone play. It's good reach by the left side. Tight end makes a good block. Jeremy Smith turns up inside. Stays in bounds. Keep that clock running. And he's starting to break some tackles now, and Wake defenders are falling right and left. This is a very good drive off their goal line after the interception and the penalty that backed them up.
They might have found their tailback. Jeremy Smith has looked good.
He has looked good, and he's 6'2", 221, big, strong guy, and he's pounding right now.
A second time on this drive where the play clock has gone all the way down, and Louisville's had to burn a second timeout to avoid the delay of game. So with the 3rd quarterback in, time management has been a struggle. Moving the ball has not. Louisville knocking on the door. We'll be back.
Notre Dame, Temple, Saturday.
Celebrating its 11th year sponsoring the Good Hands Field Goal Nets, Allstate makes contributions to participating universities' general scholarship funds for each field goal and extra point kick. To date, Allstate has contributed millions in scholarship funds. On a cool fall night in North Carolina, a 10-play drive for Louisville. It's taken 5.5 minutes. They started on their own 8, and now it's 1st and goal from the 9. Bolin, the 3rd quarterback of the game for the Cardinals, under center. They ran up to the line quickly in an I formation.
Got an extra lineman in the game, and now he's checking at the line of scrimmage.
They'll hand it off to Smith, who's been the workhorse on this drive. He gets to the 7 and is pushed backwards.
Unbalanced line right with the big guys, and he decided to run the power play to the backside. Good job by Wake Forest on the stop.
Well, if the Deamon Deacons hold Louisville to a field goal, I think they still feel very good about their chances. A touchdown changes things dramatically.
Yeah, if you're Louisville, you have to take the 3, but you really want the 7 with a 2-score game.
2nd and goal. Play fake. Bolin pressured. He's going down. Big sack, big loss. Hunter Williams, one of the captains of this team, with a big-time play for the Wake Forest defense.
Yeah, this guy's smart, tough. He's a guy that's been around for a long time. They love this guy. He's a redshirt senior, and he comes up with a big play when they need it.
Tight end didn't block him. Fullback didn't block him. Running back didn't block him.
No, it was a play-action pass to him, and he just ran straight to the quarterback. He didn't worry about the play action.
So now it's 3rd and goal from out near the 20.
Be smart.
Bolin.
Be smart. Be smart. Be smart.
Gets away. He's going to take a shot. I think he was just throwing it away. So does that count as smart?
It is smart. Keep the right to kick. You need to score. You had to do something. The sack took you out of an opportunity to have an easy score or go for a 4th down. So now you just got to make the field goal and play hard on defense. And you've been playing with your defense all year. They've been the strength of your team. So put your defense back out there with 5:33 left.
Yeah, Bolin is not happy about the way that drive ended. Impressive drive, and he made some good throws. And now John Wallace trying to set an all-time Louisville record, and the kick is blocked. Blocked. And not scooped cleanly. The ball is still on the turf. Wake Forest has it inside Louisville territory on the blocked field goal. My goodness, Bobby Petrino cannot believe it. Some huge special teams plays in this game. A fumble on a punt for the Cardinals in the first quarter. Now a blocked field goal. We'll see if we can spot who got a hand up there. Well, the big guy in the middle.
Tyler Harris, senior, 304-pounder. Been around a long time, got a lot of pride in this program, and he makes the play of the game. Weird things happen on Halloween weekend.
There was a chance, too, for a scoop and a long run, and Wake Forest just couldn't quite pick it up cleanly, but they have the ball in Louisville territory, down by only one still, and on the ground to about the 41-yard line with 5:14 to go. Wake Forest has a chance to get into field goal position, kick, and take a lead.
Yes, and sudden change by the Louisville defense. They've got to go out and stop it right now and not even allow Wake Forest to get back in field goal position, because the last couple of drives they forced turnovers.
And it was a big play on that field goal block. Still 29 yards the ball advanced in favor of Wake Forest after the block, even without the clean scoop. Now Wolford pressured, bounces the throw. Intended for K.J. Brent with the pressure coming. He got hit. Keith Kelsey got in there, put the hit on the quarterback.
A lot of pressure from his left side. He really didn't have an opportunity to step up and step through the throw. Look at number 55. He comes in and puts the hit on the quarterback, Keith Kelsey. Junior, been around a long time, quarterback, team captain. Those are the guys that step up when you're in trouble.
This got to be 4-down territory for Wake, doesn't it? With 4:42 to go, down by a point in Louisville territory. Now they're going to hand the ball off and get stopped short, so we're going to test that theory. Tyler Bell couldn't get there. It's 4th and a long 3 coming up. I have to think they could try a very long field goal.
Well, he's going to go for the 4th down play. 4:21 left. You've still got all 3 of your timeouts. Louisville's lost 2 of theirs. Now you look to the boundary for the perfect play. Louisville's changing their defense.
They get the snap off. The throw is caught right at the mark. And that should be a first down. Tabari Hines. First down, Wake Forest. He held on.
It wasn't a blitz. Louisville was stemming, but they only brought 4. So he had time to get it off. Even though Devontae Fields got in there, really good grab by Tabari Hines.
Had a long, spectacular touchdown catch earlier. Wolford in the pocket, going deep down the sideline with good coverage there. It's another interception. And the defensive back is celebrating on the return here outside the 30. It's Shaq Wiggins who will go out of bounds close to the 40-yard line. The 4th interception thrown by Wake Forest in the second half. With 3:31 to go, the Louisville defense finds a way to hold, and Deamon Deacons fans cannot believe it. Shaq Wiggins comes up with what could be a game-saving play for the Cardinals.
It's a really good interception by Shaq. If you're K.J. Brent, you cannot allow that to happen. You've got to turn. You've got to knock the ball down. 4 turnovers in the second half are just killing Wake Forest and taking away their chance to win.
Well, that Louisville secondary, which has been so ball hawking these last few years, 4 second-half interceptions tonight. And now you figure the Cardinals just want to keep the ball on the ground. Wake, see if they use their timeouts. Not doing it here after the short gain on first down.
Probably try to stop them in 3 downs here and call timeout on the 3rd down and save 2 so you can have your 1-minute drill at the end of the game. Field goal still wins the game.
And those interceptions obviously hurt. Where they happened have hurt big time. I mean, 2 different times here lately where Wake looks like they're going in to score. 2nd and 8, play clock under 10. They'll snap it at about 4 and pitch the ball to Smith, who gets tackled. Another short game. Zeke Rodney's made some big plays for the Wake defense.
Very good play for Zeke. You're sitting here at 3rd down and 7.
I am shocked they're not at least using one. They have 3 timeouts.
I think they'll use it after this play if they hold them, and if not, then they've got to start using them anyway. But they still have a chance to get the ball back with 2 minutes left and have 2 timeouts in their pocket. He just said, I'm going to call timeout right after this play if we stop them. Huge play by the Wake Forest defense. Got to stop them here to win the game.
They hand the ball off, keep it on the ground, and they will stop him just short. They pushed L.J. Scott out of bounds. He got close, but clearly short by about a yard at the 48 of Louisville. And now they will roll the clock, and Dave Clawson does use his first timeout. I mean, the seconds ticking off, valuable seconds. I just don't think that clock has been managed real well, but they have 1:55. Presumably, they're going to get the ball back.
I think Dave agrees with you. He's saying, hey, I said, as soon as the whistle blows, stop the clock. What are you doing? And he said, I got it. I got it. I'm going to put it back on the clock. Come on now. Settle down, Coach.
Well, let's see if we can spot Dave trying to get that to here. He was making sure it was set up. Well, I mean, I don't know if there was any discrepancy there or not.
It's hard to tell exactly what was said unless you were standing there. I've had some of those come up where it. And now they're having a discussion, and he turned his back and walked away, so it's probably not a healthy one.
1:55 to go. Can Wake Forest come up with another big special teams play?
And Boston College blocked a punt against Louisville last week.
Josh Appleby, the punter. And not much pressure there. The ball's going to bounce and sort of bounce straight up in the air. Now it takes a Louisville kick. Time winding off. It'll be down at the 11-yard line. Wake's got a long way to go, but they've got a chance. Down 1 when we come back.
I built my business with passion.
The story tonight here in Winston-Salem, the turnovers in the second half for Wake Forest and Mac, they've all come on interceptions, 4 of them since halftime.
Yes, tipped. This one's tipped and intercepted by Chucky Williams. That one's tipped and intercepted by Tremaine Washington. And then Shaq Wiggins just plays the ball perfectly and turns inside and takes the ball back. Cost Wake Forest at least 3 scoring opportunities.
Well, it is the true freshman, Kendall Hinton, who is in at quarterback for the final chance, perhaps, for Wake. That pass incomplete, intended for the tight end, Serenay. Wake has 2 timeouts, 1:38. And their field goal kicker, who's got range out to maybe 50 yards or so. So you figure they've got to get at least close to the 30-yard line to have a realistic shot to go ahead and maybe win the game.
And what does Todd Grantham do? Does he play zone? Does he play man and blitz against the young quarterback? Looks like he's playing zone.
2nd down for Hinton. Scrambling, pressured. He's just going to fling it up, and it'll land incomplete. There was nobody but Louisville defenders in the neighborhood. Chucky Williams was hoping for a second interception for him. It's 3rd down.
And Louisville got a lot of pressure on the young quarterback with just the 4-man rush. Your 4 downs. You've got to make a 1st down here to get it rolling.
Yeah, forget about the full field. You got to get 10 yards in 2 plays. More pressure. Hinton dancing around. Hinton goes down. He's sacked. Back at about the 14. Wake will call a timeout to stop the clock. They really had to. 1:24 to go. It'll be 4th down and about 15 yards. Otherwise, this game is essentially going to be over.
Number 91, who has given Wake Forest so much trouble all night, is a tenacious pass rusher. He forces him up inside and gets off the ground. But when you disrupt his lanes, then all the other guys up inside can tackle him. Now you're sitting here 4th down and about 13 with a freshman quarterback.
Yeah, Trayvon Young, tremendous night for him again. The game that will follow us, Wyoming and Utah State, is starting now over on ESPN News. When we're done here, we will send it over to Logan, Utah for that one. But a final minute 24 and a final play here for Wake Forest to try to keep their hopes alive.
And Trayvon didn't get that sack, but he affected the quarterback enough.
4th and 13. 4-man rush. Hinton again, pressured. Oh, the ball's knocked out. It's on the turf. Guess who? He did it again. Fields comes up with the ball, but it was Trayvon Young with the pressure, the strip, and that should seal the deal for the Cardinals.
He played it perfectly. He has the high rush. He beats Phil Haynes. He gets to the quarterback, and then not only is he going to sack him, but he strips the ball by knocking it loose from behind.
That'll count as the 5th turnover of the second half for Wake, and the 3rd sack for Young tonight.
What's this guy's get off? He gets around, and it's actually Ryan Anderson in his first game back after suspension. But what a quick player, an experienced player, and that's what you teach. Don't get to the quarterback and just tackle him. Knock the ball loose, even though it was 4th down that situation.
Now they're going to take a knee. Wake does have one final timeout. They'll use it here. Wake Forest had the ball 6 times in the second half. They turned it over on 5 of those possessions.
Yeah, the Wake coaches will feel so bad. They'll love the effort. They'll love the fact they got to the 4th quarter, but they're going to die with these 4 turnovers in the second half. Now, people might question why Louisville took a knee here. If you hand the ball off and fumble it, and it bounces up, and Wake Forest runs it back for a touchdown, you lose the game. You're going to win the game, so you just want this win and get home.
Yeah, I mean, it has been an unusual night, and we saw that flurry at the end of the first half where the safety, the 2 long touchdowns so fast on both sides. The 3rd quarter, everybody kind of settled in. Those turnovers in the second half. I mean, Wake Forest had lots of chances moving the ball down into scoring territory. The blocked field goal with their special teams coming up with a big play. I mean, they have had opportunities tonight, and I think you're right about the fact that they're going to be disappointed. This had a chance to be a tremendous win against a talented team.
It did. This night will be about missed opportunities for Wake Forest and about a Louisville team that's still killing themselves in different ways with penalties and turnovers, but a really, really good win for them.
Yeah, and the points off turnovers don't look impressive, but make no mistake, the +4, the difference in this game.
Yes, the turnovers, Louisville didn't score on them because they were on the other end of the field, but they cost Wake Forest points.
45 seconds to go. Wake out of timeouts. So Bolin will have to snap it one more time. He will do that. He'll take a knee. And that's going to be it. Clock will run. They have no play clock that will have to roll. Louisville will escape, and I think that's the right word for it. It's a talented team. They've got a talented young freshman quarterback, but obviously the Cardinals still have some work to do. You appreciate the effort of the Deamon Deacons.
It's a whole lot easier to coach them, though, Dave, after a win. and that's what it is. Wake Forest just had 3 tough losses in a row. Louisville, they get to go home. Those coaches can be all over them, and they can correct everything, but they went home with a win, 20-19.
That's the final now out to Logan, Utah, Wyoming, and Utah State.